Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
And that was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip! Get out! Get out!
The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
Megan.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy sh**.
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's.
You pissed off the wrong woman.
Oh my God! I have been assaulted when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil. Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan.
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 Megan Fox.
Thank
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, welcome back. I can already tell today's going to be a good show because the chat is already hilarious. You're already killing me with the late in gay remarks. Nick Ricotta would be proud. That one made me like spit out my drink. That was so funny. I don't have an excuse. I was just screwing around in locals. And it's true. We were talking about boobs and sleeves, and it was a lot of fun. And how dare I sit here streaming with boobs? I don't know. I don't know how I dare, but I dare. I dare to do it. And coming to the program for the first time in a while, the man who saved this show, IT Goatee. How you doing?
Good. How are you, everyone?
We are we're having so much fun over there in locals. I mean, locals is a lot of fun. It's
Locals is
80% women. So if you're a man looking to meet some women, it might be the right place.
Yeah, I think my wife actually wouldn't want me hanging out in locals. There's been a couple of thirsty folks in there.
Actually, a lot of them are married, but it's a lot of fun in there. We have a lot of talks about. Today we were talking about boobs and sleeves, sleeve lengths, and have you ever seen Singing in the Rain?
I have not actually.
Oh,
There's a couple of older movies like
that is a great movie
that I haven't seen. Like about Count of Monte Cristo, like it's been remade 6
That's a
times,
great
but
one.
but like the old one,
I don't think I've seen the old one.
I haven't seen Casablanca. Like just a bunch of those old movies that everyone says are, genre-defying things I haven't seen. But like I watched Citizen Kane and everyone's like, "Oh, Citizen Kane is fantastic," and I was bored. Like it's just one of those things where trying to figure out, maybe the movie was great at the time for the people who were intended to see it, but it sometimes it just doesn't transcend. And you go to like kids movies nowadays, everything is made with that CG animation, but the the older cell animation isn't there, and it kind of loses some of its niceness from like the old Don Bluth movies were fantastic and they look great.
Well, speaking of new movies, in 2024, the Manosphere, I like, it's not Snivies. I put your comment up here for a reason. Manosphere, Rees in the distance because of Megan's clothing choice. Yeah, we're having this weird moment in time where there's like I hate to even consider myself conservative anymore because there's such a bunch of retards, and they have problems with women. And I'm not sure what, and it's like just women existing with large breasts is bothering people. And I know I've been talking about this for a couple of days and people are like, what are you talking about? But it really bothers me when it comes up because clearly I'm one of these women.
Right.
So I've put up with a lot of this in my life of
Mhm.
like, being accused of just wanting attention just for being how I am, just for looking the way I was born. I didn't go to a surgeon for these. This is just how it is. And you put on a t-shirt that anybody else could wear and nobody says anything, but because you're larger chested,
Endowed.
suddenly it's, she just wants attention. Well,
Mhm.
this is what we're talking about. Isabella Maria DeLuca. I'm actually not sure who she, like what she does or who she is, but this poor girl, hold on, wait, stop. No, I don't want music with this. Let's just make this in Biggin and so we can play it without music because I don't want to get hit with any copyright. She's just a young, beautiful girl. She has an Instagram or TikTok or whatever the kids are doing these days. And I genuinely don't know. I don't know what her deal is. Supposedly, she's maybe counterculture, talks about some issues that some conservatives might agree with. But she is getting dragged. And
Mhm.
I mean dragged by people I won't even name, but they're, trying to make a name for themselves in the manosphere, the red pill movement, or whatever you call it. One man in particular, who is a father of several daughters, has gone after this girl. She's about as old as one of his daughters, and basically calling her a whore and making allegations unfounded about her sex life. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
ugly. And if you want to look at her Twitter page, there's more details about that. But this is the video that this guy went back and dug through her Instagram account. And this was the worst video he could find. Yeah, the quartering is taking part in this too. Don't ask me why. And
Well,
it's something about, there's something about these men who are also grifters. Because I'm sorry, but Jeremy makes his living off of like and subscribe too.
oh yeah.
So the idea that he, is going to complain about how somebody else gets their likes and subscribes is outrageous. There's nothing new about pretty women making money, like it from Hollywood to anything. Okay. You might as well make the money while you can while you're young. She's not doing anything pornographic, which I would totally disagree with because I think porn is harmful.
Mhm.
But they're going after this girl. Look at what she's wearing. She's wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
They are literally going after her, calling her a whore, saying these terrible things about her sex life and stuff that they have no clue about simply because she has large breasts. There is no other explanation for this. So I'm going to play the video. We can talk about this. One of the criticisms is the camera is pointed at her boobs and you can barely see the food. I'm like, I see the bowl. How do you not see the bowl? And if she had put the video down more and it was just her boobs in the bowl, she'd be getting more
Oh
criticism.
yeah.
If her face is in the video, why are you staring at her boobs when her beautiful face is in the video?
Well, ask any guy when a woman tells you to, "Hey, my eyes are up here." You know why? Because men are attracted to that, and you could say it's from evolution and all those other things. But the funny thing about this conversation is that it's following after Calendar Gate, which is also a similar
Stupid.
problem.
So stupid. I saw those pictures that some
Mhm.
of people I know are in them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're no different than the 1940s pinups that we look back on and think that was so wholesome.
Right. And the funny thing is the same people who are
I'm on
having
hero. What bowl?
yeah. The funny thing about this conversation is that the one thing that conservatives, those on the right, get plastered with unjustly is that it's the old white male problem. It's like, yeah, let's get more beautiful looking women into the party to try and shed this light of we're old white men sitting around talking about how women need to be in the kitchen making cake and
I know, and here she
whatnot.
is doing it. Yeah, and here she is doing it and getting all dirty too. Her shirt is so dirty. That's the worst part about this is how she needs an apron. But this is a very good point Squid Pro Crow just put in the chat. Where did it go? She's got to put the bowl and her face in the video, and her boobs have to be between them. Like there's no other place for them to go.
Yeah.
Is she supposed to wear a burqa? Like I feel like I've explained this to you guys a lot, but I'm going to say it again for those people in the back who still refuse to get it. When you are endowed like this, if you put on a loose blouse, you just look fat because you can't see your waist because the fabric will hang from the boobs. They'll just hang straight down. So you just look heavy. Then you put on something that shows your figure and suddenly, oh, she's going for the simps.
Yeah.
She's simping, or she wants the simps. I think Sarah Adams just said she knows what she's doing. Well, does she? Does she though? What is there about this that makes you think, oh, this is all about the boobs? She's just trying to maybe she's just trying to show people how she makes a cake, and this is how she looks. I just think and then there are people pulling up her Instagram photos, and she's got pictures of her in a bikini at the beach. You know, it's perfectly acceptable to wear a bathing suit at the beach. I don't know why anyone would. Does anybody criticize anybody on the left for being too sexy?
I would say it's almost the opposite. If you're because one of my favorite commentators is Andrew Wilkow on SiriusXM, and he has this political I don't want to call it an ideology, but this idea that he calls the Wilkow Guide to Two-Way Media Perception. If you're a Democrat and you're beautiful, you are someone who is naturally gifted and whatnot. But if you're a conservative and you're beautiful, you're stingy and put all of your time on your looks instead of doing something that's useful. And he has these ideas that he talks about education. If you're a liberal and educated, then you've done all of the things to try and push your career further. But if you're conservative and educated, well, your credentials, did you go to the right school? Did you go do all of these things? Was your GPA up? But they don't ask these questions of anyone else on the other side. So it's this really interesting way, and Nick has also talked about this, how prosecutors nothing that you can do can ever be right because you can ask a question either saying it's bad one way or it's bad the other way. There's no way that you can try and find a way out of it. Or not even find your way out of it. That's a bad way to phrase it, but they will always they can always find a way to put a negative light on something that you do, regardless of what your intention was.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing. You will never see this kind of criticism aimed at anybody on Twitch or and there's girls sitting there literally naked with bars over their boobs, you know.
The Twitch thing is nuts, and they rescinded that policy, thankfully.
Right. But I mean, she's wearing a t-shirt. Can we please stop this? This is why people don't like conservative people, because they think that we're a bunch of stick in the muds, judgmental, dummies who get focused on these things that don't matter. Sarah says she's not making money because she bakes the best cake. Well, does it matter? Does it matter why she makes the money she makes? Why does Jeremy Hamblin make the money he makes?
And
no one ever questions him. So why is she not allowed to have followers and likes and subscribers, and she happens to be beautiful? So what? I think there's a lot of jealousy involved in this. A lot of jealousy is what I end up hearing. Old Line Run says, how is this any different from what Nigella Lawson has been doing for years? It's not. It's anybody on TV, any woman on Fox News. Look at the women on Fox News. Is there
blonde
one
show?
Yeah, is there one woman on that show that isn't a sex pot? No. It is what it is. And to make her the object of ridicule, It's just wrong. People need to stop it. Xcomer ZZZ, thanks for the super chat, says let's not F around. If red-pilled conservative men took over, the US would be like Iran or Saudi Arabia regarding females. I'm starting to think this is true. I really am. It's like, what do you want? You want her in a burqa? What in the hell? Men in America used to love pinup girls. Used to love the pinup who would, what's wrong with the girl baking a cake in her kitchen who's cute? You want your wives to be dowdy? I don't understand this.
And if we're going to take a Christian fundamentalist view of this, then I think it's a matter of if your eye causes you to sin, you would be better to cast it out.
You need to pluck it out. Yeah, pluck out your own eyes. It's the answer to my question. Why aren't you looking at her beautiful face, which is also clearly in focus? If you are a man who looks at that video and all you can see are boobs, I think you might have a porn problem. She's not doing anything to make that,
if she's baking a cake in a bikini, that we might have a different story. But
a t-shirt, and it's a high neck t-shirt. It's not.
Yeah.
God, what would they say if she was wearing this shirt?
Wearing the cleavage. Yeah.
It would be like an OnlyFans. Like everyone would be accusing her of being an OnlyFans model. I mean, we need to really figure out where the line is, because a high-necked fitted t-shirt cannot be it, or we are headed straight for Saudi Arabia. Kyle Cowden, thanks for the super chat, says break in an S super chat fast to say Jeff and Nick were my gateway drugs. Now I'm all in on Megan, and my screen time discipline is oblivious-rated. I think you meant obliterated. Thanks. Yeah. I know how you feel, but at least you can pride yourself on being interested in intelligent talk. There's a lot of stuff to learn on these channels, so I personally think you're going to be better for the obsession. All right, Caldrick says, how dare you stream with Booba? Cease this behavior.
My wife, being a well-endowed lady, she would be more than happy to just lift them off and set them aside to be able to go do things, but she has to live with the back problems and being unable to find a bra that fits right and all these other problems.
It's really hard to find clothes that fit right. You can't wear a button-down shirt. There's all kinds of problems that go along with it. The DCV Titan, thanks to the super chat, says, when you say sleeve length, are you talking clothing or wearable extensions for men? No, I mean sleeves on dresses. We were talking about Singing in the Rain in this incredible dress that had sleeves that go down to the floor. Women like things like sleeves. I don't know how to explain it other than to just say that's what we're doing. Baking while boobing, guilty. It's like this poor woman can't do anything without people accusing her of something. She's adorable, says Max. I agree. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for being a member for 2 months, by the way. Says there are probably about 12 men total in the U.S. who are conservative enough to turn this place into Iran. We're not as far right as you think. Boy, I wish they would be less loud then, because they make us all look stupid. When you look at what's going on in the world and what's conservative media doing, they're fighting over a tight t-shirt. Like, honestly, can we stop?
The funnier thing is the MLB player that was in her DMs saying, why don't we go get drinks and bad decisions? And she's like, this person or this former MLB guy was like, oh my God, look at her. And she goes, oh, was this you? And posted this DM.
Did he delete his account? He should.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, that's what you get. That's what you get. I just think it's a really bad idea to start making young women who are attractive feel guilty about being attractive. There's nothing wrong with her. Like, with all the fat problems we have in this nation.
Look, fat. Look, here's the deal.
I've got a lot of fats, and she's somebody who's fit, who's taking care of herself, who wants to learn how to be traditional and bake cakes and stuff. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. And listening to the gatekeeping that is going on with people with large followings saying things like, oh, she's just trying to fool the boomer crowd or whatever. Leave her alone. Just leave her alone. So what? If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Just don't. Sarah, you just haven't seen what is happening. She cannot do whatever she wants. She's being criticized for a cake baking video. Like, people are digging through her life looking for and claiming there are sex videos out there and stuff. She's considering suing for defamation. I think she might have a case. It's ugly. And if you want to dig into it, read her Twitter timeline. It's ugly. And it seems like a couple of people trying to make their career on her boobs and on creating outrage where there is no outrage, and trying to get famous on her and making her life a misery. And I just can't even believe they're doing it. Her name is Isabella. Hold on. Sorry. I had that up for a minute and I clicked off. I was looking for the hearing. We are here to watch the juror number 1's interview, by the way. I'm
surprised they're doing it in public and not doing it by like Depo.
Well, the judge said that he wanted it in public because of the, public interest. He didn't want it to be stifled in any way. So he decided that on the 20th. All right, hold on. Let me get her name for you. Her Twitter handle is Isabella Maria DeLuca. And her Twitter handle is at Isabella M. DeLuca. And she's a real sweet girl. I don't know what the heck here. I'll drop her Twitter page in the chat for you guys. Oh, I forgot to open up. Oh no, Rumble's here.
She's done things for Turning Point. So, I mean, there's other things to attack her for from the left. But when it's those who would consider themselves on the right attacking someone internally, it's even harder.
And it's constant.
Yeah.
It's constant. This is what pisses me off about the right in general. Nobody backs one another up. This is one of the reasons why I became such good friends with Nick Rekieta. He was the first person I met kind of in this space, and he would cringe at me calling him conservative because he's really not. He's a libertarian. But I mean, he's the first person with a large platform in this space who is so generous with his platform, generous with his friendship. I mean, he's just very genuine, and you don't find that here. I've told him, do you know how rare it is to be like you? Like, everybody's a piece of shit, basically, who will step on their own mother to get ahead.
Yeah.
And it's been like this on the right for a long time. And I've written about it, about how we don't help each other up. And the left always does. They help each other. They give each other awards. That's why we have award ceremonies. They've literally created and built awards to give to their friends to elevate their status so that their message could get spread all over the world. And we don't do that. And because we're so busy gatekeeping and looking out for our own self-interest, that we can't bother to help others up around us. And I'm not including myself in that because I do it all the time. Because I don't believe in that. But conservatives in general, I'll just point out the Daily Wire, for instance. I've been in the conservative writing arena for 20 years. I've been around the people who work there for years. None of them will even mention us because we're competition. Yeah. It's instead of just being friends, and helping each other. And I've had them take stories from me and write around it so that they don't have to link me. It's stuff like that. It's terrible. And this is all connected. It's all about gatekeeping. They see this beautiful girl. They don't want her to get ahead of where they are. And it's unconscionable. If you really care about this movement or whatever, if you care about that, why would you ever spend your time on this bullshit? Oh my God, it was Aubrey Huff? No way.
Yep.
Didn't he get into a thing like a couple years ago? Wasn't there another scandal with him?
I don't know.
I feel like I may have reported on something with him.
Oh my God, Daily Mail. Jesus Christ.
Look at the ads. Look at the pop-ups. This is insane. All right, let me see.
I don't see stuff like that because I've got ad blockers on, but holy cow.
Yeah,
that is awful.
Too much. Ex-MLB star Aubrey Huff, 47, deletes social media after conservative Christian influencer 23 shares his Christmas Day DMs asking to collab over cocktails and bad decisions. Woo boy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Well, your sins will find you out, sir. This man has the audacity to insult me, but he is a married father of 2 DMing me on Christmas Day. Oh my God. Christmas Day.
Christian men have enough problems to be dealing with. You don't need to be trying to do that on Christmas Day. And
that's really bad. And good for her for calling it out. And because that's crap. All right. I am trying to figure out now how to. It looks like Law and Crime does not have the feed up yet. What time is it? Well, yeah, it's a little early for that, but I am keeping an eye on it. If some of you in locals maybe can also keep an eye on it, so I don't. Right now, the only thing that's live over there is Young Thug trial. All right, I had something else I wanted to show you that was on my Twitter. This is funny. I am laughing at
is
this.
it pole dancing ladies?
Oh God, no, I can't show that on here. But my God, that's funny. The fat pole dancers. God, that's motivation to go to the gym right there if I ever saw it. No, this is a awkward moment on Fox News that had me laughing out loud. I laughed so hard at this. For one, I don't know why Jesse Waters, I've been on this show before. It seemed like a more serious show than this. But Jesse Waters had a medium on the show to pull some tarot cards for Donald Trump, and what happened is so funny. I wanted to fall out of my chair, so let's watch this.
Which time slot did he take?
I think 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly. It's 8 p.m.
So he took Bill O'Reilly's. Ingram was at 7, and then Hannity's 9.
Oh, well, maybe it was just 8 when I went on. I don't know, because I don't watch these shows.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not a Fox News watcher, not for years, not since like 9/11. I think that's right around the time I quit watching Fox News. I had been a Fox News junkie and then I quit. So I've been on these shows, but I have no idea what time they air.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m.
Okay, 8. All right, so let's watch this. This is so crazy.
On President Trump.
Just the one card.
Paula, for you to give me a reading on President Trump.
Just the one card.
One card.
One card. Let's do just one card. We like that one.
Oh. What is that?
I mean, I do recognize that I'm at Fox TV. I have a sense of loss. A sense of loss. But it's very specific. No, let me move on. It's a sense of loss. It's as if he may be thinking more about what he's lost and not still taking full advantage of what he still has.
Paula, for you,
I'm dying.
To give.
She pulls of all the cards, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's. And the funnier thing is, you think about the audience that Fox News is drawing, and you're talking about boomer generation and older. You would think Christians, and you're going to
such a
ask,
weird thing to do.
At 8 o'clock, you're going to have a medium on pulling tarot cards. Like,
It's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing to do, and that serves him right for doing this. Like, you couldn't find anything else to talk about. You had to do. I mean, I laughed so hard. Can you just imagine the gasps in the audience? Oh, it was funny. TCO, I think I did get it, but I haven't opened it yet. I got an email that said meme. Was it the Shapiro meme one? I haven't opened it yet. I'll have to look. But if you do want to share memes, it's a good idea to join over on Locals, meganfox.locals.com, because the memes are plentiful, and they, oh my God, look at, speaking of Locals memes.
Overfloweth.
They overfloweth like my bra. This is so funny. You know, one of the problems with the Manosphere, though, in general, is that they view all women as whores. If the Andrew Tates of the world do not respect women at all, they view all women as whores. And so that goes to, you know, over sexualizing them and making them, you know, saying these terrible things about them. I mean, and it's rubbing off on the men who follow these guys. And I think that's very dangerous. I don't like it at all. I mean, quit treating women like they're less than you or something. I know there are some women who are whores. That's true. They're like that, like this other woman. Speaking of whores, let's go over to my Twitter feed again. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, you are missing out.
What are you doing with your life if you're not following Megan on Twitter?
You're missing out because the Twitter memes do flow, and also the Twitter videos. This woman, this is a definite whore right here. Now hear what she has to say, and it's not about what she's wearing.
I felt so bad about it. I called like child services on this one. I called child services on my ex because he pissed me off. And then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this person, whatever. Like, you know, cheater, fucking piece of shit, lies about dumb shit. He had kids. I called child services on his ass, and I like fabricated everything and like censored things, and they like went to the door, and like there was a whole process. Like I don't even know if the children's aid worker still visits them, but she probably does, because what I sent, like the way I AI'd that shit, you know, like real AI shit, like fake bruises type shit.
Be careful, fellas.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So you fake bruises, you fake shit, and then you just made like exaggeration story, and then
on their on his kids.
Yeah.
Like, so he came and they were like, oh, like, we're seeing stuff that your kids are being abused. You know, you could lose your kids. And I was just like, that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah, should have been nicer to me, bitch.
That's terrible. I would, if I was that guy and I saw this, I would get a lawyer immediately.
Okay, well, I have done some digging because that really pissed me off, and I decided to find her. Her name is Lady SB. She's a Canadian rapper. She calls herself a rapper. I believe people like her have no talent. She is claiming that she made it up, that her PR team, because she was interviewed then on another podcast after it went viral. And it went viral a while ago. So sometimes Twitter gets things late. And, you know, anyway, it went viral like on Instagram. And so a podcast, another Canadian podcast had her on. And she claimed on that one that her PR team put her up to that, to sell records and to have a viral moment. That's what she claimed. Although the man who was interviewing her was like, I don't care, you're still a piece of shit. That makes you just as bad a piece of shit for saying that. Now, if there were a man, if she's not lying and she did that, and there were a man out there that she did that to, please contact me, because I'll blow your story up, and I'll help you find out if you can press charges against her even in Canada. I happen to know a lawyer in Canada, so perhaps you can consult with Ian Runkle and figure out how to get charges pressed against this bitch. But I don't know we don't know if she's telling the truth. It is absolutely possible that a snaky public relations firm told her to do that. People would do anything to get famous. Isn't it? It's disgusting. If you're going to get mad at a woman for doing something disgusting online, get mad at her. Whether she called CPS on her boyfriend's kids and fabricated evidence, or she just did it to get famous, said it to get famous, she still deserves all the scorn. Isabella doesn't deserve any of the scorn for baking a cake in a t-shirt. But this woman, Lady SB, she deserves it all. Because that's just insane.
And the funnier thing is, as we're learning more about these DCF programs, about how little they need in terms of evidence to be able to do these actions and tear families apart, it's unfathomable.
And she said she provided them with photographs of the children with fabricated bruises on them. And believe me, that would absolutely get your kids taken away. Like it's horrific thing. Did it sound to you like she was making that up? Because it didn't sound that way to me. You know, it sounded real. Duncan, Idaho. Wow. Thanks for the huge super chat. I think a lot of men don't have their urges under control. So when they see a beautiful woman, they don't know how to deal with their own physiological and psychological responses to that. And it makes them lash out. Get it under control, men. Yeah. The person who said the Bible explains it already. It was Brad. Pluck your own eye out. If you have a problem with lust, pluck out your eyes, not her, don't stone her. You know, Mo was so funny. Mo in the deep end, she goes, oh my God, they found out we have boobs. Wait till they find out we have ankles.
Oh my God.
She's such a scream.
Yeah.
I love her. Love her. Vince Flortho, thanks for the super chat, says, got a video for you. You have a Gmail account. Do I need a Gmail account for you to send me a video? I don't ever check my Gmail account. So you can send it to my Proton Mail, which is email. Let's see, where is it? Here's my email. I'll put it up on the screen for you and you can send me stuff there. There you go. All right. Does SB maybe it says, does SB stand for stupid bitch? Maybe. I don't know what it stands for. I hate these rappers and stuff. I mean, I know it's a cultural thing. People like this, but I really don't. I used to like rap back in the day in the 90s when it was kind of new and fun. And it was more storytelling than it was all the, you know, now it's all whores and money and that's it. That's all.
I mean, Darrell Brooks was he posted a video that he made in his mother's kitchen that looked abysmal.
All right. Now I'm getting trolled on Twitter. I'm getting...
Oh no. Oh jeez.
Like my cooking, I do have a tripod actually. See, it's not about the cooking. Well, now you're just trying to be obnoxious. She's not being obnoxious just for existing. If that's what your actual package looked like and not a sock, which it appears to be a sock of some kind, you know, that's just silly. That is not how she had the camera positioned. Just ridiculous.
The funny thing is if you look at her original video, you can see so much of the ceiling because the cake was less or more out of focus than everything else. So it'd be like, you know, me putting my camera up like this, and you've got so much of me out of frame.
I don't understand why people care. I don't know why they care about this innocuous cake baking video of a girl in a t-shirt with big boobs. It's the big boobs that bothers people. If she had B's, no one would have said a word. It's only because she has large breasts that suddenly that's all it's about. It's only about the breasts. It's not about the cake. She can't be herself. She can't just be a girl. She can't. No, she has to dress a specific way in order to not draw your attention to her boobs, because if she does, then she's just doing it for the clicks. But if she wears a muumuu or something, then she's legitimate. Come on. Just come on.
I always go back to what Nick says. He says, if I had tits, I would monetize the shit out of them because it's just so funny that this society that we're living in, and how, you know, coming from the age where you couldn't see a beer commercial without a woman in a bikini or something, and then now everyone is just so upset about everything. And everything, you have to put everything on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I repost things that I care about, but I really don't tweet anything because I'm not that kind of person. I don't feel this super big need to put my thoughts and feelings out on everything. As I say, I'm on a live stream, but
well, that's what makes you interesting. You're like a man of mystery and IT help. Like people are saying things on Twitter like boobs are great, but she's a grifter. Well, why do you care? Everybody's got to eat. Why does anybody care how she's making money if she's not on OnlyFans?
Yeah, it's not Cameo, it's not OnlyFans, it's literally just an Instagram video, and the amount of money that's not being paid on these videos is pretty high or pretty low. So,
like, here's one of the dumbest responses that I got.
uh,
Now, if I cooked with this as the center, and this is the same guy who just put up his pants video.
yeah.
Now, if I cooked with this as the centerpiece of the frame and food barely visible, if at all, is the video still about cooking? Yeah, I mean, how do you compare a fully clothed girl in a t-shirt to this? It's not the same. And men who see it as the same, there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with this guy who can't look at a girl in a t-shirt and see that she's fully clothed. Why can't he stop seeing her as this?
This is the worst skateboard ad because you could barely see the skateboard because you got this dude in front of it.
And I think that's a sock in his pants. I don't believe that's real. I don't. And if it is, I don't care. Women are not like men. We wouldn't tune in to see that. Like, so good. I think there's also some jealousy where men are concerned because they can't monetize they can't monetize the physical very well unless they're going for the gay audience. It doesn't work. You have to be engaging. You have to find something, that's that people actually want to hear about. All right, Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the tip on locals. Megan, can you judge this meme? I wasted a lot of time on this morning. I will absolutely judge this meme. Let's pull it up, shall we, while we're waiting for the hearing to begin. All right. The next idiot motion. I can almost reach it, Dad. Ethan. Let it go. He's not going to let it go.
Oh, after listening to you and Jeff talk about it this morning, I really don't think that they're going to continue pushing this further. Because if they do, they're going to push themselves right over that cliff.
You don't think they're going to keep pushing this further? Are you kidding? You, after all their behavior, they've brought in two new guys, two new appellate attorneys who have already overturned a $200 million verdict, two of them.
I don't think that they won't try to appeal it. It's just I don't think they're going to continue trying to appeal it in this way.
Oh.
Because, continuing to attack juror number 1 and with this, all of the stuff that they filed in these 3 now motions. Because I think that Judge Carroll's absolute bitch slap of a order that he released, if they, we talk about how they do some really stupid things and they don't really seem to pay attention to what he's saying to them. But if they really ignore this order that he's coming out and they go, but Judge, we really want you to take a look at this, and even though you've ruled on this before, we further press that we want to have a re-examining of your order. And he goes, fuck this, get out of my way.
I don't know. I think it could have been a lot more of a slap. I wanted to see like an actual something,
sanction or something to come out.
Something instead of just vague language about harassment and, you better watch out. Like, I don't know. Judge Carroll he's given me back some of the love I had for him with his Hare Island foray. However, I just think he's still too weak. He's too weak. All right, what is the deal with I can't find the stream.
I haven't been looking for it, honestly, so.
All right, hold on.
I heard last night that you said that Recovery Addict might be posting the
Okay,
Zoom
so
call?
no, no. That the chat was being totally confusing.
Oh.
No. But he is still part of the pool, the press pool. So he has a right to the footage, but he's not going to be there personally. So
Gotcha.
He's got some stuff he's working out. And I think he's going to be covering the same thing that we're doing. Now, what is this? That's 2 weeks ago. That was the December one. I think he's going to be using the same stream we are today.
I don't see anything on Law and Crime.
No, I don't. It should be long. It is a long crime camera. They just must not have it set up yet. But I think that's weird because we're only 5 minutes away. How is this? All right, I better log into the Zoom so that in case there's no feed. Let me see. Maybe Scott has it. Scott is such a nice man, by the way. His channel is really cool. All right, let's see.
Let's farm Reddit and see if they found it first.
You go do that while I text Scott. Let's see. He's got the hookup. His channel is so interesting.
I saw his setup and I was super jealous. I was like, man, that thing is huge.
Oh, I would love to tour his studio just to get to push some of those buttons. Oh my gosh. He has my dream button set up. It is like, I haven't even pushed a button since I've been in here today, have I?
Oh, you did.
Dang.
You did the money button.
Oh, I did the money button, but I should have done the phrasing while we were talking about boobs. I completely ignored all my buttons.
Nobody cares.
All right. Have a feed yet for hearing? I don't see anything. I feel like it should be up by now. So I think I better log into the Zoom.
You can pull a real recovery addict and transcribe live.
That's gonna suck because you know at least the audio on the Zoom is better than the camera one. How do I find the Zoom?
It'd be in the docket.
I know, I'm looking. No, they have like a whole Zoom instructions. There we go. Wait. No, that's for jurors. I always forget where this is. Court technology? Maybe that's it. Oh, let me just do this. Judge Carroll, Zoom. There we go. Dang it! That's still not it. Crap. I should have linked it. I should have made a bookmark.
I'm in the docket now. Order, notice of filing, motion.
No, he has like it's on the website. I've gone through it that way before. Hold, please. All right, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm absolutely feeling about this.
All right, here it is. So go to Kowalski trial page. Yes, accept. Watch hearing. This is going to really piss me off if they didn't.
Fox Tampa Bay 13 might have it.
Oh, would you check that while I'm entering in here? Because this sucks. I have to now log in. What? And now it wants me to sign into Zoom. I don't know my Zoom login. I really hate this.
All right, got it.
Join from your browser. That's what I want to do. Okay, there we go. Agree.
Here, I've got it.
You have it? Oh, you found it.
Yeah, Tampa Bay had it.
Oh, nice. Is there sound?
There's nothing going on, but sound is on.
Oh. Okay. IT Goatee saves the day. Again.
I was super glad that we've kind of isolated the issue that you were having with your computer freezing up there, because we've done a number of streams recently that have gone longer, and
I have had a couple of times where StreamYard required a refresh. So I still think there's a StreamYard issue.
Unless StreamYard hires me to try and figure it out, I don't think it's going to do much.
Yeah, like yesterday, I couldn't play the Thug Judge video clip. It kept stopping. And when I refreshed the StreamYard, it played all the way through.
Look at Mr. Donut in the background there. Holy cow. If someone tries to run out of that courtroom, he'd be winded before they got to the door.
That's why they have those taser guns that go flying out. They run for you. Okay, can we have some sound? There we go.
They haven't turned it on.
Oh, here we go. I feel very nervous.
You hear that now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear it.
I boosted it to 300%.
Let's see here. There's a couple of attorneys that are by Zoom. Let me add them to the...
Who is manhandling their microphone?
Good job, IT Goatee. Thanks, Vince.
I got to get a Cash App so you can send me money. Jeez.
Duncan says, I love how the issue of whether Scott has water for his streams is always such a crisis. It's awesome and funny. Uh-oh, the judge's mic is not on.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for letting me through, Roger.
I hope you feel better. Understand you're a little under the weather.
Oh my God, I cannot hear this.
And Mr. Hughes, are you able to hear us?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you for accommodating, Judge. I've got the same thing that's going around, and I appreciate you letting us appear abusing.
I hope you feel better as well. Mr. Whitney, are you able to hear us?
So his computer can hear him, but the feed is not picking him up.
I'm in a courtroom that's usually not
Oh,
mine. And
there we go.
There's so many lights.
There we go.
that
There we go.
If I'm just glaring at you through this, it's just all these lights reflecting off of me. So I apologize.
Off of his head.
Anyway,
Off of
let's
a
get
sea
going.
of
This is case
baldness.
number 2018 CA 5321. Starting with the plaintiffs here in the courtroom. Let's take appearances, please.
Gregory Anderson, Jennifer Anderson, Nick Whitney, Samantha, I don't know if Samantha Lawrence is there, Jack Kowalski appearing, Tom Elegant.
Amy Ferrier.
It looks like Miss Anderson is by Zoom now. And
she is.
Okay, great. Defense counsel.
Yeah, for Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospitals, Chris Altenberg, Pat Pauls, and Ethan Shapiro.
And I understood Mr. Turfs was going to be here. Is he?
That's 500%. It's not going to be any louder than that.
So juror number one is here?
Yes.
Why don't you go get Mr. Turfs? And just leave juror number one where he is for the moment. Yeah, Mr. Turfs is the attorney.
Oh, juror one's attorney is there. Jesus.
Your Honor, do you want us to make room here for Mr. Turfs?
I was going to put him over in the jury box.
You go over there.
Figured that was an appropriate place
And
for
good analogy
him to go.
there.
So he's going to keep off the camera.
I understand we sent a judgment in, proposed judgment in today. It apparently was sent in as agreed. It's not agreed. Mr. Altenberg and I have talked about it. I think we're very close. We have one or two things to resolve. I mean, and of course, obviously the numbers could change. We appreciate that.
That's down the road.
Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to correct. Apparently, it had gone. I haven't even seen it. Apparently, it went in as an agreed or unobjected to, and that's not. It's mostly accurate, but it's not completely accurate.
And I see Mr. Turfs is here. So, and you are representing juror number one? Yes.
Brad,
And
check the
ultimately,
private
Mr.
chat.
Gross, when you speak, because there's no microphone over there, I'll need you at some point to go over to the lectern if you need to speak.
Yes.
Now, we are here on the juror interview. Mr. Altenberg, you seem like you want
I've got two more appearances. I forgot counsel in Baltimore, and so Terry Williams and Derek Scheichwalder are here as well.
I don't see them.
They need to be admitted.
They probably need to be admitted.
Gosh. Okay, what are their names again?
It should show as Kerry Williams and Derek Scheichwalder.
Those are the new attorneys.
From Baltimore, which means that it's getting pushed higher.
Yeah, those are the appellate attorneys that overturned the other huge verdicts.
I can see it's Kerry Williams.
Yes.
I don't see that name.
How many people are in the Zoom?
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, is it a she or he?
It's a she.
It would be whatever they put in.
Yeah, you say Derek, they could be in the same room.
And what's the other name again?
Its first name is Derek, D-E-R-E-K. And it's Scheichwalder. That's T-I-K-E, etc. All right.
Do you want to call them and see what their name on their Zoom is?
Let's just zoom right in on his Outlook right there. You know, let's see what he's typing.
Because there's quite a few
God.
folks on Zoom.
I will send an email right now, Judge.
I don't mind promoting them to a. Oh. Let's see. There's a Samantha Lawrence, so I'm assuming you want her to be promoted to a panelist.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't see names. So I just need to know whatever name they are on the Zoom for me to be able to promote them to be a panelist. Any other, well, let me go ahead and go over the ground rules while we wait for that information. We are here on the juror interview. I will be asking the questions. I want to make it clear that I'm not going to ask any questions associated with the jury deliberations, the thought process associated with juror number one's view of the evidence, or anything having to do that would adhere in the verdict. The only topics we will address are those four that I put in the original order, granting the limited juror interview. I'll ask the questions. At the conclusion of the questions that I ask, I'll have juror number one go back to wherever he is right this second, and then I'll let you, out of his presence, suggest any further questions that you think that I might need to ask based on this juror's answers at the time. So we all understand what we're doing today?
Yes, sir.
Now, I do have, and not exactly sure how I'm going to get it for the folks on Zoom, but two exhibits. So give this to the clerk, Mr. Turfs.
Turfs. We thought his name was Tufts. It's Turfs.
Put one on the witness stand.
I'll be right back.
Just pull off the little yellow sticky when you give it. And what they are for Mr. Hunter, Mr. Hughes, and Mr. Whitney, and Miss Anderson, and Miss Lawrence is the court exhibit number one is juror number one's questionnaire that he filled out. I redacted his address, and court exhibit number two is the docket from that 2002 trial.
Oh my Lord.
Broward
Look
case
at the judge's
that
face.
was referenced in
Judge Carroll looks a little annoyed.
the defendant's motion for juror interview. And for the witness stand, you can pull off the paper clip off of it.
Your Honor, this is David Hughes. I'm sorry to interrupt. I did hear back Derek Steichleather, or his email, dsteich, he says it would be, and for Miss Williams, it should be Carrie Williams or C Williams at her email address.
Are they able to see me in the audience right this second?
I'm being told that Mr. Steichleather is in Judge Carroll's personal meeting room.
Okay, because if I suspect what he is on, because I have a normal Zoom and I'm using the webinar feature that we use throughout the entire trial, which is different than what I use for all my other cases. So I suspect that's
The hearing is
the issue.
being brought to a standstill over technical
Because
issues.
he would be able to see me right this second.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my voice down because
I'll see if they can
have this
just
all
watch on
cranked.
TV. I assume the proceedings are being televised.
My understanding is Law and Crime is live streaming this, and
They are not.
any number of other
Law and Crime is
social
actually
media
not
outlets are also
live streaming
broadcasting
this.
it live.
Only Fox
I
13
don't make any
is
representation
broadcasting
as to
it.
what they're doing or what they're not doing. But I'd like to proceed if that's okay with the defense. You're shaking your head yes, so.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Any questions about what we're going to do, or are we ready to bring in?
Fox Tampa 13, sir.
No,
Law and
we got it.
Crime is falling down on the job.
Lieutenant, if you can go grab juror number 1, please.
Law and Crime was supposed to have a feed going. They are the pool camera. We're not sure why they are not operating their live stream. It's very bizarre. Brad, we have to use golf tone voice.
Sorry.
Because everyone has their volume cranked up to the maximum and we are very loud. So we need to practice our golf announcer voice.
Let me see if turning down the boost will help.
No, but keep the boost up because that will help. We can't. They're putting him on camera. This is juror
That's-
number 1.
Well, so why are they saying juror number 1 instead of actual his name? Like,
I don't know. Why are they doing this? Oh, they're going to put him on camera. I thought they were going to put him in the jury box. That is an interesting hairstyle.
And I know we're in a different courtroom.
For
and
a
different
former
courthouse
police
than the last time I saw you, and I appreciate
officer.
you coming today. I would assume you understand why we're here today.
Yes, I do.
So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. Right in front of you, I've got a couple of sheets of paper. The first one that I put on where it says court exhibit number 1, I just want to confirm that is in fact the questionnaire that you filled out. I think you were on day 1, so it would have been September 14th of 2023.
Yes, Your Honor, it appears so, yes.
And then the second sheet of paper behind it is a docket sheet, and I'll tell you, I just printed it out a few days ago off of the Broward County Circuit's website, so it's whatever was publicly available, involving a 2002, so more than 20 years ago, a 2002 filing by what appears to be your then wife. Is that Aileen?
Yes, correct.
Now, I've sat in the family law division, so I know how to read this docket sheet. What it looks like is your then wife filed, because it looks like you probably had minor children between the two of you, a UCCJEA affidavit was filed, and there were some allegations. You were served with the petition, and then she never showed up for the hearing. That's what I read off of this.
That is correct.
Now, here's where I'm going to go with my questions. There seems to have been some sort of reference to child allegations involving this petition. So was there any sort of involvement by DCF more than 20 years ago in this case? When I say this case, the 2002 case.
No, there was not.
And
I
at the
love
time
his
in
outfit.
2002, did you have, how many minor children?
He
did
was
you
like, you know what? If I'm going on TV, full F it, deuces,
2002?
frost my hair,
2002.
Edith.
That would have been 3.
Were any of your children sheltered by DCF or whatever the entity was called at the time?
None, no.
There was on the questionnaire whether you had any strong opinions about DCF. So do you have, and as you, let me go back. On September 14th, 2023, did you have any opinions, strongly held opinions about DCF?
No, I did not.
How about the government's ability to remove children from the care of their parents?
Absolutely.
No opinion at all.
I'm going to switch gears on you, sir, and go to another topic. There was an allegation in the defendant's motion that somehow your current wife either was represented by an attorney by the name of Deborah Salisbury or was involved in a case that included Deborah Salisbury. My question to you is this. Back on September 14th, 2023, did you know who Deborah Salisbury was?
No, I did not.
When did you first learn, if at all, when or who Deborah Salisbury is?
When something was filed by the defense attorneys.
Has attorney Deborah Salisbury ever represented you?
Never.
And to the best of your knowledge, has attorney Deborah Salisbury ever represented your current wife?
No, she has not.
And when I say your current wife, when did you all get married? Not to put you on the spot.
Yes. I had it on the tattoo of a hippo on my arm, but it's covered. 2016.
Okay. Have you ever been in any sort of proceeding where Deborah Salisbury was around, to your knowledge?
Never.
I'm going to change gears on you and go to another topic, sir. The court gave repeated instructions during the trial not to have any conversation about the case, don't learn any information. In fact, I think on the very first day, I told the assembled group that you couldn't even talk to your spouse or partner about the case. And if they asked, that you were to say that Judge Carroll's a meanie and doesn't allow me to talk about this case. Were you able to follow that instruction throughout the entirety of the case until the time that you were discharged as a juror?
Yes, I was.
At any time until the time that you were discharged, right the day before Veterans Day or whatever day that was when we discharged you, at any time before that date, did you speak with anyone that would include your wife concerning anything having to do with this case?
No, I did not.
Now, the motion indicates that a person who appears to be your wife, and I'm assuming it is your wife, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Was following the trial on various social media platforms and on one day came to court. Okay. Are you able to tell me for sure that your wife or no one else, no one gave you any information about this case at all?
Yes, correct, Your Honor. No one, and I did not seek out any information on this case.
Now, slightly different, did you obtain any information about this case from any source outside of the courtroom at
No.
any time before you were discharged as a juror?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Let me ask you directly. There was an allegation that you may have gone online and looked at Dr. Kirkpatrick's website. Did you do that?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Did you ever observe Dr. Kirkpatrick's website, even if you did not type out the information to drive the computer to his website?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Now, sir, what I'm going to ask you to do is to go back and sit where you were. I'm going to talk with the lawyers outside of your presence, and we might have some more questions for you in a few minutes, okay?
All rise for the juror.
All right. That was not very exhaustive, but he didn't answer anything that I didn't think he was going to answer in any different way than I
Juror
thought.
number one is out of our presence. I have, as I told you in the order allowing the limited juror interview, and as I said this a few moments ago, after I asked my questions, I was going to open it up to see if there were other questions. So I'll just go to the defense. Are there topics that within those 4 issues that I'm allowing that I need to dig farther on?
Your Honor, I only have the area of inquiry as to the October 30th when his wife.
Okay, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you go to
I'm
the,
sorry.
I apologize.
Thank you for making
As
him
I'm only
speak into
have
the
a
mic.
handful of questions, I think, about October 30th when his wife was in the courtroom. It seems to me that if I was on a jury and my wife showed up in the courtroom, I'd be surprised. And so, I mean, did he have any conversations about her planning to attend before she
He should
did
not allow
attend?
this.
And then I
He's already
guess the next
pierced
question has to be,
privilege.
did he actually see her in the courtroom sitting on the what I'll call the plaintiff's side of the courtroom? Did that cause them to have any verbal or nonverbal communication with one another in the courtroom?
What is
Did they have
nonverbal
lunch with one
communication?
another that
Do
day?
they have ESP?
Is she like a second base coach?
Did
Was she
they
giving him the
have any discussion at all about her attendance
the
at
love
the
of
court
Cheetos?
at the end of the day? And the only final question I would have would be whether or not he discussed anything about the testimony of Detective Graham, either before that testimony or afterwards.
The Detective Graham issue, I mean, I've ruled on that.
Okay.
The
I thought that was still open, but if you ruled on it, that's fine.
right. Well, I mean, I think what I said was the fact that his wife posted that he's going to have questions. I think I said that this is almost as certain as death and taxes that this witness or that this juror was going to have questions.
I realize that.
Yeah. So
I prefer the question, but if you don't want to give it, that's fine. So thank you.
Plaintiffs, what are your thoughts?
So
Your Honor,
nice
we
of you to
object
give
all
your
of these. We do
permission.
not see the relevancy to them. The witnesses already testified that he did not have any substantive, any communications with his wife about the trial. The court's order, none of the instructions said, and you have to remain mute to your spouse. You can have no conversations whatsoever. You can't even look at her, presumably one of the questions in the courtroom, or shake your head or smile. And we believe that these questions are completely inappropriate and lead us nowhere towards what we understand the court's inquiry and what you're seeking here.
I'll go ahead and ask, I think one or two of them. I'm not going to ask
Ugh.
all of them, but
This is
Mr.
stupid.
Turfs, was there anything that?
Why is he even
Let's bring
entertaining
him in real
this?
Also, where can I get that exact outfit? Because I know what I'm being for Halloween.
Juror number 1 might be a very popular Halloween costume this year.
I bet
That
you
could
already have the
happen.
wig for it, Mo.
No, I don't, but I can take my mullet wig and
You can chop that up, maybe.
look, I'm not saying that I will modify it, but Mr. Mo may cry when he finds out how much I spent on it.
Okay, sir, you understand you're still under oath?
Yes.
Just a few more follow-ups. Apparently, your wife showed up in court on October 30th. That was the day before you dyed your hair, if I remember correctly. Well, your hair went orange.
Oh, Lord.
Judge
Halloween night.
remembers hair.
Okay,
It's all about
but
the
let me
hair.
go back to the day before that. Did you see your wife in court that day?
No, I did not.
Did you have any knowledge prior to October 30th that she was going to court?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
She told me that morning that she wants to go and sit in court, and I said, fine with me, and that was the end of the conversation.
Now, so you said you didn't see her in court.
Because of my eyesight, with my readers, because of my diabetic retinopathy, I only see figures in the gallery
Oh my
right
God.
now. I can't ID anybody.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, here's where I'm going with my ultimate question. I hear that you say you didn't see your wife, but I want to make sure, was there any sort of nonverbal contact or nonverbal communication from your wife to you about this case?
No, there was not.
How could there be if he couldn't see
So
her?
if you could go have a seat.
Is he legally blind? How did he drive to the courthouse?
Are we going to have a my cousin Vinny moment? Are we going to take the tape measure?
How many fingers am I holding up?
Because I need someone to stand up and say everything he
And
just
Mr.
said is
Altenburn,
bullshit.
based on how he answered those questions, I didn't ask some of those others because either benign contact, not about the
I'm
case.
not asking for additional questions.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, may I excuse juror number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay. We can let him go if he wants to leave the building. That's fine. I'm going to hear further arguments from the lawyers. Mr. Turfs, if you want to stay around, that's fine. Or if you want to leave with him,
Maybe
that's
he
fine
took the
too.
bus. Maybe
But
he's an
juror number
actual
1 is
bus
free to
stop
go if he
person.
wishes to leave at this point. If he wants to come.
That's
and sit
why
in the audience,
Shapiro
he's free
said
to do
it.
that, or
He
come
saw
sit
him at the
here.
bus stop.
It's totally up to him.
It's a pretty big
Are they
notepad
now
to be
going to
leaving.
say? Are they now going to say he was too blind to judge the case officially?
It wouldn't surprise me. If he can't see to the back of the courtroom, how can he see and evaluate any of the people in the jury box? He's not deaf,
Yeah, he
dummy.
couldn't see our PowerPoint in the loving hands of Jesus.
It was because he missed the pie meme. The awkward pie meme it prejudiced him against the defense. Oh, he's back.
Oh, for the love of all that is cheating.
Oh, he
But
wants
he is
to
now
stay.
excused from his subpoena, and he's free to go whenever he wishes to go.
He wants to stay.
Interesting.
Okay, closing arguments at this point on the defendant's motion for new trial, which is at DIN 3742. And since it was the defendant's motion, I'll let the defense make any arguments you wish to make at this point, if any.
So based on the testimony, it comes down to a credibility call for you to make on what he said here. And I've asked for questions. We'd like to have gone to the things on the other area, but I believe you've made a clear ruling on that, so there's no reason for you to.
Go to the microphone.
I do believe that those things weren't bound by a 15-day and that we had good cause for why we did it somewhat later, but you've ruled. So thank you.
Because you farmed it out to Reddit, you moron.
The court essentially wrote our argument on the January 2nd, 2024 order. Your Honor, it's time to put this to bed. There was no ambiguity in the witness's testimony. He was straightforward and looked at the court. I would note for the record, at least I recall that the witness used reader glasses at times during the proceedings if he had something important to see here. And there's no reason to doubt this gentleman's honesty and integrity and the answers to his questions. So we ask that their motion be denied.
Court has before defendant's motion for new trial based on juror misconduct, which is at docket identification number or DIN 3742. There were various supplements. Certainly the record is going to reflect the various different supplements, responses, interim orders, reconsideration, orders on reconsideration. At the end of the day, the defense has failed to demonstrate any juror misconduct. The court will therefore deny the motion for new trial based on alleged juror misconduct. That concludes the juror interview. I certainly still have a number of motions pending that we argued before the court on December 15th. Those remain pending and I still need to address those. So my hope is that on or before Monday, January 22nd, that I will have answers to all of those outstanding motions one way or the other. You know, my hope is to do it before then, but I'm giving myself a little more than 2 weeks to go through those motions now that the juror issue has been taken off the table and I can focus on those because I've been spending all my time on the juror misconduct allegations. So that is my plan on a going forward basis. Are there any questions, concerns, things we need to address in the interim?
Yeah, the only thing I'd comment is that I was going to check with the court reporter to see whether there was going to be a trial transcript anytime soon. And I did not do that this morning, but I will check on that tomorrow and provide the court with information.
I appreciate it.
Your Honor, there was pending a plaintiff's motion for sanctions, motion to strike it for sanctions dealing with the disclosure of the witness's home. Having spoken to new counsel, I'm deferring to them as to the argument on that. So I'll with that and nothing further.
Well, my recollection is where we left it is both sides wanted to see how the court was going to rule on these various motions for new trial before deciding whether you wanted to schedule hearing time to address the sanction motions or not. That was where I thought we had left it.
You're absolutely correct, Your Honor. This was a separate one recently filed, and if the court wants to put them in that category, that's depending on what Mr. Turf wants to do, but that's fine with us.
Well,
this one just seemed to be oriented towards this matter with this juror. And so
I want to invest my time in addressing the motions for new trial and JNOV and those motions, because one way or the other, I want to have an answer for the parties, whether we're doing a new trial or if we are or entering a judgment, whatever it turns out to be. I think you want the answer, and I want to give you that answer as soon as I possibly can.
we agree with the court's reasoning.
Anything else from any of the lawyers?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, we will be in recess. I appreciate everyone being here.
All right. I guess that's done. We have a lot of super chats and stuff to catch up on, and then we'll get to your thoughts on this, everybody. Excited Utterance said, "Hey, Megan, I'm about to cover the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. When was this brought up in the JHACH trial? Could you explain?" I don't think it was. I think the only thing that was brought up that was similar were the allegations of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but to my knowledge, it was not brought up. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Petey Warren, thanks for the super chat, says, "An hour behind Megan. The quartering has always been a hack, and Judge Janine ain't a sex pot." LOL, thanks. LOL, thanks for all you do for us. I mean, I like the quartering stuff as much as anybody. I mean, sometimes he's interesting to me, but I don't understand why he would go after this young girl for no reason. Tara Norman, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate that. DCV Titan, thanks for the super chat. What a beautiful waste of taxpayer money. It's always good to see the government working hard to spend all of our tax money, isn't it? Fat Yoga, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to the Fox Den. It's the scariest sound ever. And Jojo gifted 5 Fox memberships. Thank you so much for that. Everybody thank Jojo for the 5 gifted memberships. All right, folks, thoughts?
I think it went as expected. I mean, he didn't give an inch, and there wasn't an inch to give.
I did not find out that the quartering is siding with JHACH now.
Oh, no.
No.
That was about the
We were
poor
talking
girl
about
with the
grifting
cake.
and boobs.
Baking with boobs. He doesn't like that girl.
For God's sakes.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Look, God as my witness here today, I am on a mission to get to my goal weight, and I am going to do something that will make just pearly things and the quartering explode. Helen Lovejoy's, get your pearls ready. I have baked all the bacon. I have hidden it so my family does not know where it is. I am going carnivore. I may, make pasties out of the Constitution. I don't know what I will do. But, God forbid a girl look, she's a beautiful girl. She's cooking a cake. She's obviously cooking with boobs. For the love of all that is holy, there's like a crap ton going on in the world. But let's focus on
on
boobs
that.
and cake. I mean, look, they're both great things. I understand. But for the love of God.
Can we stop? I agree. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the tip in the locals chat. Says, "Why does juror number 1 look like the Tiger King?" Okay, this is that is not
I did
far
love
off.
his outfit. He
looked like Saul
his
Goodman
outfit
from Better Call
his
Saul.
outfit was like, this is ridiculous. I am going to treat it with the importance.
Like I'm
that
going to the casino.
He is like, I find this stupid. I am dressing like Tiger King.
It's very fun. It was very funny.
He went full Florida man. He's like, I can't pull a Mo, so I'm going Mo adjacent.
Duncan, Idaho, thanks again for the other super chat or locals tip, says, "To think juror number 1 isn't lying strains credulity. Has anybody checked on Reddit? We might want to check on them, make sure that they're okay. Duncan, Idaho sent another tip that says that bailiff near the plaintiff table looks like his name is Crunk. And
Trump had a
Duncan,
much
Idaho.
better figure.
Duncan, Idaho, for another locals tip, says, "JHACH, Your Honor, we were unaware that juror number 1 was visually impaired, and had we known that he was a non-Aryan undesirable untermensch, we would have requested that he be dismissed from the jury." Oh, Lord.
Had we known he was Joe Neerman and did not drive himself to the thing, we would have dismissed him.
Maybe he did take. Okay, I've been told that people with his visual condition they have like different glasses for different things. So if he only had his readers with him in the courtroom and not his drivers, that's why he would not have been able to see figures. And so maybe he does drive. Look who's here! It's Runkle of the Bailey. You missed the hearing. Did you get to watch it at least?
I was listening to the hearing, so I didn't see your message. And then I was like, "Oh crap, are you still going? I'll pop in."
Yeah, come on in. Somebody in the chat said that Ian is available and you should invite him, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I will." What did you think, Ian, about how this went down?
I thought it was pretty predictable. And I am super fuzzy. Let me fix that. But
you are fuzzy.
It was very clear that Judge Carroll had run out of patience. and that he was going to be asking sort of basic, simple questions along the lines of, did you do the things you were not supposed to do? No? Okay, cool. And I think the only way Johns Hopkins was going to win this one is if juror number 1 got up there and is like, yeah, I ignored my oath. Screw it. And the odds of that were very poor. It was clear he wasn't going to conduct like a full grilling cross-examination like Johns Hopkins wanted. It was clear that he wasn't going to, he wasn't going to start trying to catch him in gotchas or anything like that. He was just going to ask him, hey, the things you were supposed to do, did you do them? Cool. This is over. This is done. This whole production was just appeal proofing. And now when they go to appeal, he could say, well, they could say, well, you had your juror interview. All of the questions that the judge didn't think were stupid were allowed. And
yeah, including a couple of ones he didn't have on his list. So he gave him that. I
mean, it was very clear from his latest response that Judge Carroll's tired of their BS and was just going like, no, you have no evidence on this. You need to stop chasing this or come up with something other than a Reddit theory.
What I found was great was, and I sort of alluded to it in Judge Carroll's like, I didn't get to your other motions because I had to write 14 pages of an order to get for you morons trying to push this juror 1 issue.
Yeah, all
I could
his
have
other
done this
orders.
already.
All his other orders were like a page to 2 pages. A 14-page order sends some kind of message, don't you think?
Oh, there were lots of messages sent in that order. He wasn't subtle about some of them. Some of them were just
I kind of wish though that he had been much stronger on the fact that this is juror harassment. It's gone beyond now good faith, and we are now in the territory of chilling the speech of not only potential jurors and, like if you're a juror now sitting on a case, what are the chances that you'll talk to the media after witnessing this circus?
What are the chances you'd want to be a juror at all?
Right. I
mean,
think I took a poll on Twitter of people who follow me. I asked, has this situation and what JHACH has done to juror number 1 made you intimidated to be on a jury? 83% of the people said yes. That's a high number.
Well, I mean, if they were starting to talk about things like we're going to dig into your phone, which is what they were asking for, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the amount of information you can pull off somebody's phone is insane. And without a word of a lie, give me your unlocked phone and I could probably be in your bank account.
Right.
By, well, it's almost 2 now. So let's say 3. I could probably be, getting the bank to switch over your credentials so that I look like I'm the approved user. It just requires doing some research. So, and given how keen plaintiff's counsel has been about like, hey, we're on Reddit now. We really appreciate all your guys' research and so forth. I'd be terrified that they're going to like dump the contents to Reddit or something and let them go through this guy's entire life.
Well, so I checked in on Reddit, and I think they're still reeing because one person asked how everyone's thoughts are, and only one person responded, and it was the judge should have asked where he got his shirt so we could have all gained something out of this.
Locals
That was an epic shirt.
A screenshot of Howard Hunter's face during the ruling. This is an actual screenshot of him on the Zoom. Wow, not the Zoom. Yeah, well, he was calling in from the Zoom. This is hilarious. I don't think that there's a lot of celebrating in the JHACH department today. I guess what I think is that I wish that he had, for one, I think he should have ruled on the motion that was put forward about them doxing the juror again with the GPS coordinates. I wish he had that would have been very simple for him to rule on. I don't know why he didn't just take that up. Greg Anderson asked him to do that. He's now saying he's going to give some kind of answer on the rest of the motions by January 22nd. He still has to go over all of the motions about remittitor and taking down the verdict amount and all that. I'm trying to think what else is still out there. Ian, do you remember what else there is to be ruled on still?
I think the big one's going to be the sanctions. Like,
God,
hey,
that's
what
like
happened
a
to the?
300-page deal. I haven't even read it yet. Did you read that yet?
No, I've been away. My wife and I snuck out of town to sort of spend New Year's, so that was a good call. But now I'm behind on everything, and there's so many things. People are like, "Are you going to do a video about this?" I'm like, "Oh, I've got to get caught up again."
Yeah, I haven't read that, and maybe that's something I should try to start going through and just do highlights of on the channel since we have time. I don't know if he's going to make his. Who knows if we'll actually be back in court on this again? He may just do his orders and upload them to the docket, and this will all be over by the 22nd. But it's interesting. It sure is interesting. I just don't like the fact that he allowed this at all. I just feel like I wish he had said something to them like, and you've wasted this court's time with this. We're all dumber for it. I award you no points. And
I was waiting for that.
You will
And may
pay.
God have mercy on
Yeah,
your
may
soul.
God have mercy on your soul, and you will pay all the attorney's fees that led us to this point here. From the moment you entered the motion about juror number 1, you now owe the plaintiff whatever it is that they spent defending this bullshit. That's what I wanted to see, and I just don't understand him. He seems weak to me, but I could be wrong.
I think he's playing them. I think he's like, he doesn't. If he comes up and he makes that kind of harsh statement, that gives them ammunition on appeal. If I'm JHACH, I would love for them to do that. Like, I would love to be able to say, this judge got into the fray. He started taking it personally. His decisions are unreasonable. Instead, he's like, I will give you what you want within reason.
So what you're saying is he would not say this.
You will pay for what you've done, and I pray that God send angels to visit vengeance upon you.
Yeah, no, that would be a bad idea.
All right. Well, Ian, some of us are just, we just need the screaming sometimes. I need like a Judge Schrader moment out of this guy.
Don't get brazen with me.
And it just hasn't happened. It's driving me crazy. I will stay by my initial thought, though, that Judge Carroll has a very good judicial temperament, because I can't imagine most people putting up with the kind of behavior that's gone on in his courtroom with JHACH lawyers.
Yeah, he really doesn't want this appealed. And so he's giving them as much rope as he possibly can to be like, hey, you guys have gotten everything you've wanted. You got your juror interview on the legitimate questions, and we're shutting down the illegitimate ones. So they're going to appeal and say, oh, well, we really ought to have been able to look into how he draws his S's. And the appeals court is going to go, or counterpoint, go F yourself. And you may actually see a stronger decision coming out of the appellate court on the sense of these were ridiculous positions. These were, because then they don't have that concern about was the trial judge biased? Right. He's doing his best on this. If I'm on Maya's team, this is what I want the judge doing. I want the judge being reasonable. I don't want him giving them any avenue, because there's going to be an appeal, and it's going to be an expensive appeal. It's going to be brutal. So every door that the judge can open here is terrible for Maya. So I just, I want him playing everything carefully, which is what he's doing. So
yeah, he's definitely being careful. Vince, thanks for the super chat. Says Elvis has left the building. Rest impulse. Judge is a snuggle soft is that bitch should be a spokesperson for Downy fabric softener. He's kind of a softie. I mean, he does appear to be a softie, but at least he has a good sense of humor about his hair island. Hope you're well, Ian. Love y'all, says Equality. Thanks to the super chat. Spitfire, thanks to the super chat, says, for your feelings on Reddit. Shall we go around the board? How do we feel about the Reddit page? You guys already know how I feel about Reddit. I think they're full of a bunch of people who pretty much sound
like this all day long, and they're over there just crying and crying about the loss. I can't believe this judge. Oh my God, he's so biased and terrible.
Anybody else thoughts on Reddit?
I use Reddit in a non-political capacity because there's a lot of really good technical forums on Reddit. But yeah, I think this particular subreddit is pretty crazy.
I don't check out that particular subreddit. I mean, Reddit is this mix of really good information and absolute crazy crap because it is literally anybody can post on Reddit. And so I've seen comments that were insightful, careful, reasoned arguments. And I've seen things that have just like, oh, you put that in writing, did you? With your name beside it? Okay, that's a choice. So yeah.
They've been entertaining at least. What do you think, Mo?
Well, since I only vaguely have understood how to work Twitter, I have found that Reddit is for people that like to complain with longer than 100 or however many characters you
True.
can use on Twitter. And I can't figure out how to work Reddit. So it seems to be where people go to complain for longer than Twitter. And if you have that much time, I have chores that you can do. I have baseboards that haven't been cleaned. Like, y'all come over. I have got chores. I have got all the chores. I have got, you can learn how to cook, how to can. I mean, we have chores. Fry,
There are children
loves
to
friends.
bathe.
There
There's
are
all kinds of
children.
things.
No, don't offer that to the people on that
To
subreddit.
Reddit. Oh God. What was I thinking?
Keep the kids from the Redditors.
Oh my Lord.
Somebody's getting in their car right now.
There is a picture of me as Garth from Wayne's World with boobs that I'm fairly sure is on some Reddit boards, probably getting a lot of action. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
Oh boy.
it swings and roundabouts, as they say in Britain. So I can't work it, but it seems to give a lot of people a lot of it fills up their free time.
It does. Lily Smith, thank you for the super chat, says, pretty sure the judge is just trying to avoid any appeals issues. And I did read the other day that he has a very good record for not having appeals. I think he's like in the 80 percentage somewhere in there of his cases do not get appealed. Pop Princess, welcome to the Fox Den. Thanks for being a member. Breast Impulse, thanks for the super chat, says, haha, love the Reddit voice change. Perfect. Well, and it's weird because on this particular Reddit subreddit, they say that they're like the wives of doctors and medical healthcare professionals. So you've got people who are out of touch anyway, like wives. They don't have jobs. They're completely taken care of. Their husbands make tons of money. They're driving a new Mercedes every year. And I just think that perhaps they're not the greatest voice for what people go through who are struggling with our system, our healthcare system. I get where they're coming from. Like they want to protect their loved ones and their reputations or whatever. But I would prefer to have medical professionals kind of look at JHACH and what they did here and say, wow, like Dr. Corcoran did, we never want to behave like this. That's what I would prefer instead of like trying to cover ass all the time and just stand up for nonsense.
I mean, it's hard to look at things in an unbiased way if you're going, hey, that could be me. But hopefully nobody's looking at that going, hey, that could be me, because hopefully they're sitting there going, well, I'm glad I don't do anything like that. So it's tough.
Brooke Smith says, Megan, why did the judge hesitate saying if we are doing new trial or entering judgment? I may have missed that. Did anybody else hear him? Maybe he just misspoke. I mean, is there another motion for a new trial based on?
I'm sure they've got like dozens left to go.
I thought there was only one for the based on the juror misconduct. Was the other one the one about the amount of the verdict an actual motion for a new trial? Let me look. I'll look on the docket and see what I can find. But I don't know. I missed that part.
Yeah, I just know that he said that he wanted to give deference to all of the pending motions for new trial, and then Anderson said that he was they were waiting until those motions were settled before going for sanctions and other things.
All right. Well, let me see if Greg said he might be able to call in after the hearing. Let me check on him and see if he can come in and give us his
call
thoughts.
your Google Voice.
Yeah, I'm going to send him an invite and see if he can hop on StreamYard. Although that's always questionable where Greg's concerned. I'm not. Although he managed to figure it out when he was on with Joe Corcoran. So maybe he's got that worked out now. I don't know, but I'm going to send him a quick email.
So here's the current thread.
Oh, they're still calling for Shapiro. That's funny. That could be a troll, I guess. Could be a troll. I like that one. I would be embarrassed if I took someone's research that I didn't know, put it in a motion, and was humiliated in such a way.
Yep.
It's like relying on ChatGPT to write your motions. Why would you ever rely on Reddit to do research for you?
Well, what was it? I'm just trying to remember. I'm blanking on the name. Who just recently was like, "Yeah, I gave my lawyer a bunch of citations, and I didn't realize that ChatGPT was, BSing on them." I'm like, everyone involved in this is terrible. It's just like, oh, you got citations off ChatGPT and you didn't check them. I get citations from other lawyers and I check them because, of course, you check the citations. People get stuff wrong.
6 months
You're
ago,
going into court.
Harvard.
There's millions of dollars at stake. Do the work.
Lawyers Stephen Schwartz, Peter Loduca, and their law firm Levidow and Oberman to pay $5,000 for citing 6 fictitious cases generated by GPT.
Yep, and they're not the only ones. It's
Wow. And I mean, see, I think that they should sanction lawyers for using Reddit for research too, especially lawyers with as much resources as JHACH lawyers have. They have no excuse for using Reddit researchers. They're not broke. They've got a legion of people working for them with law degrees, probably from places like Harvard. So why the hell are they going to Reddit?
And the judge said that. He's like, just because you only got this off Reddit, like just because Reddit only figured this out now, doesn't mean that it wasn't something you could have figured out at the time. And you guys have all the money and all the time, and you were looking at this before. So, yeah.
LA says, I think I heard that they're returning at 4:30. I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
No, he said they weren't going to hear from him until around January 22nd. I wonder are we taking bets on how many new motions the defense is going to file between now and January 22nd?
I mean, my bias
One a
opinion, I would say I wouldn't, because they've already gotten their hands slapped. And if they continue to file,
they're so brazen.
I think the appellate attorneys is probably going to tell them no more motions. We're going to take the whole thing to the appellate division, and you guys are going to go off into the sunset with your tail between your legs.
I hope they've got different lawyers for the appeal.
They do. They have two.
Okay, good.
Two lawyers from Baltimore who just came in.
Okay, good, because there's a time to do your own appeals. This is not it. And I don't think we're going to see some of the issues that they've argued brought up in the appeal.
All right, so I'm looking at the docket. We've got the 1219 filing, which was the motion for new trial based on juror misconduct. That was denied. that's the one. Let me see if there's another motion. Motion for new trial based on juror misconduct, motion for juror interview, motion to open discovery into evidence. Yeah, that has all been denied. So that's done. Motion to compel and supplement to motion for sanctions. That's one that hasn't been ruled on yet. Motion for sanctions. He did rule on the black and blue boxes. That was kind of denied. It was like, just keep them in a warehouse somewhere and don't let it get burned down mysteriously. I thought that was a stupid ruling.
Suddenly, a wild warehouse fire.
Right. I mean, these are the same people who said they lost phones in vats of acid. So you got to be careful when you tell them to hang on to stuff, because it's weird accidents seem to happen. Motion for new trial. Yeah, this is all the same thing. Juror, I'm not seeing any other motion for new trial based on anything other than juror misconduct. I think that might be it. I think the only thing left is the arguments against the number, the monetary amounts, and the sanctions. I could be wrong, though. There's a lot of stuff to go through here. Just a ton.
They're still going the 2 boxes. They're still going through that piece too.
Oh, the renewed motion for directed verdict. Yeah, that's the one that hasn't been ruled on. The directed verdicts. They want the judge to
declare them the winners.
Out. Yeah, just declare them winners anyway, even though the jury hated them. Motion to withdraw amendments to the instructions for count 14C.
That's the ultimate in participation trophies. It's like, sure, we didn't win the trial, but you could just say we won the trial, right?
Well, and they've been so kind to the judge. I'm sure that, I mean, they've built such a rapport, and they've been so loving and nice to the judge and use the microphone every time. I think that he's really going to go for it.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have done all that stuff, like stand in front of him screaming at him about how he doesn't know the law. That might have been a mistake. What
Denied.
do I know?
Maybe don't be a dick before asking for stuff.
One of my favorite moments of this trial was when Judge Carroll looked at Mr. Hunter and said, "Don't look at me like that." He was like, "Don't look at me with that tone of voice." That was a thrilling moment. Oh, by the way, for any of you who are, I know some of you in the audience are going back and listening to my coverage from day one. I'm working on a video montage for the judge, because I feel like he needs a thank you for putting Hare Island in his latest order. And I wanted to go back and revisit the greatest moments where we talked about the judge's tuft and Hare Island and the hair issues in this court. So I started already, and I already got one on day one. That's hilarious. So if any of you happen to be going back and re-listening to other days of the trial, and you find moments where we were talking about Hare Island and making jokes about that, please timestamp it for me in the comments section so I will see it, and I will add it to my montage that I am looking for, that I'm working on for the judge, because I think he'll appreciate it. His sense of humor tells me that he found all that funny. So that's good. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, we haven't gotten Ian's opinion on baking with boobs.
Boobgate.
On Boobgate. I'm sure Ian wants to weigh in on this, because I mean, who wouldn't? Ian, are you aware of the controversy going on about baking
Vaguely
with large breasts?
I'm just like, this is what happens when you have a bunch of grifters fighting each other over bullshit for
right.
clout.
Can you imagine one grifter calling somebody else out for being a grifter? It's like, shut up. Can't we just all admit we're grifting and just move on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, okay, so I see the reply is like, here's pearly things appearing to stream nearly naked. And I'm like, I don't care. Nothing Pearly Things has ever said has enlightened me or improved my life. And I didn't know who the other people were until this. And I'm like, people Like
This
if
is
this is
upsetting
what you're
people.
upset about, oh my god.
This is upsetting people. I'm so confused by all of it. I can't even tell you. Of all the things we have seen online, of all the things, why are we spending any time at all complaining about this?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, it's a cake. Cool.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And this has gone on for like days now. I was ignoring it until
Oh, I
finally I'm
know.
like, okay, I can't say nothing anymore because I feel so bad for this girl getting dragged for doing nothing more than making a cake. If anything, they should be criticizing how messy she gets. I mean, she should wear an apron. She's not protecting her clothing very well. It's just splattering all over the place. But my
I don't
God.
actually see a mess either.
Oh,
It's like
It's at the
You have to
end.
wait. It's at the end.
Oh.
Her entire front of her shirt is just covered in brown sugar or something.
Yeah.
See,
she's using
Look at-
bowls that
look
are
at-
too small. The bowl is too small.
Well, that's the only thing that's too small. I mean, I mean, this is just people are just out of their minds crazy with all the crazy stuff we've seen and that's happening in the world. It's just incredible to me that this made people upset somehow. Is there like a Canadian thing in Canada? Is this a thing there where people get upset? Conservative people get upset when women have large breasts and have the nerve to wear fitted
People get upset
things?
about stupid things all over the place. Like this is not unique to the US, but I just feel that
Feels
this
like it is.
I just feel that this is kind of a problem that could be solved by more people getting out into the wilderness, and especially like into the actual wilderness where you've got real problems like there is a bear. Because if you've dealt with like there is a bear, then all of this stops mattering. Like, you know, have you I'm
I was
just
say
like,
the most
we
upset
need
I've heard
more
a Canadian
bears?
is when the Canucks lose to the Red Wings, and if the Red Wings can win, I'm always happy.
I'm more annoyed by the things our government does,
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know,
there it is right there. Like you can't find something else to be outraged about and like make a big deal about on Twitter. There are so many things going on. If you just look at Rand Paul's list of grievances this year for for Festivus, one of them was we are now testing monkeys on meth. Monkeys on meth. The government is paying. Are taking our money and giving meth to monkeys. I mean, my God, couldn't they just give the meth to the people? They have to give the meth to the monkeys? What a waste! If you're going to be
Give the
handing
meth
out
to the
meth,
Can we protest that? I need posters and I need all the Redditors. Give the meth to the people. I need them out in front of Washington
If there's
right
a
now.
drug-
The Million Meth March.
I'm not
is,
endorsing meth,
there
but
could
still
be-
seems like an awful waste.
there could be good reasons for that kind of research, and when you describe research sort of casually, often good research can seem not like idiotic. As an example, there was a study where they took monkeys, put them in a chair, and then accelerated them on a track into a wall. Or the other group of monkeys, they accelerated on a track into a wall, but it twisted the chair just before they hit the wall. And you might be thinking, why are they throwing monkeys at a wall? That research has saved a ton of lives because it's basically about how the brain suffers trauma. And so it's like, yeah, it's a horrible thing to do to the monkeys. It's really awful, and it seems pointless if all you hear is monkeys accelerated at speed into a wall.
Yeah.
But it
Boy,
saved a
that's
ton of people from either death or brain damage. And I'm going, like, if
I
you're
would-
designing a helmet, that is built off of that research now. So anytime you wear a helmet, that is built off of we threw monkeys at a wall.
If they're going to
And
give monkeys drugs, I would much rather see research done on shrooms and psychotropics
Yeah.
instead of or psilocybin.
Ketamine?
No, not ketamine. Psilocybin? I don't know.
Psilocybin. Yeah.
But that particular shroom, they're saying can reverse depression. And from the
How do you know
initial
when a
studies,
monkey's depressed?
I'm sure there's a way that they can monitor group dynamics of monkeys to figure out if one is depressed or not. But the
Can't we teach them sign language? Didn't they have the one
it was
ape
gorillas,
that
not
knew
monkeys.
sign
Coco.
language?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think sign language gorillas are way too expensive to use for research.
But
We have gone on a weird track.
my
We
point
went
is
from
that
cakes to microdosing.
if you think about how depression has infested this society and the growing use of Instagram and whatnot, and how everyone is being given some type of psychotropic medication, and if psilocybin has the possibility of reversing that and reconnecting pathways in the brain, that could be some massive gains to our society. Now, there is the whole thing of, let's give everyone shrooms and then they'll magically feel better, but it's really that kind of research that I think could make some significant gains.
Well, but they're too
I
busy
mean,
giving meth to monkeys, Brad.
Well,
they can't do that. They can't.
if they're trying to figure out like how to get monkeys, like how to treat, meth addiction, that might be an incredibly useful thing, right? Because if we can get the monkeys to stop taking the meth afterwards, then maybe we can get people to stop taking meth. People are actually probably a harder task on that, because people are better at hurting themselves than.
Yeah, the problem is the same government that locked us down and told us masks were good and no and bad and yes and then stay 5 feet away are the same people that are putting the monkeys on meth and telling us it's good. And I don't know that I trust them.
Here's what we have been told. This is the only thing I could find about the research that's going on with the meth and the monkeys. Researchers at the University of Mississippi Medical Center conducted a study on the effects of methamphetamine on sleep patterns in male rhesus monkeys. What? The study was conducted by administering methamphetamine to the monkeys in the morning and then monitoring their sleep patterns throughout the night using a fully implantable telemetry system. The study found that methamphetamine administration dose dependently increased sleep latency and wake time after sleep onset. Oh, so they used our money to find out that meth keeps you up at night. You've got to be kidding me.
Don't we have Congress? I mean, look, I'm not saying that any of them
We're not
are
allowed to
harmless
test meth on Congress.
substances,
We only
but-
test cocaine
I
on
would rather do
Congress.
that.
Well,
And hookers.
I'm
Don't forget the hookers.
I'm saying we have like a captive audience and they may or may not be on substances anyway. We have our control group.
No, our control group is on way too many drugs. The monkeys, are only getting the meth, whereas Congress, you wouldn't know what's in their system.
You wouldn't know what's there. Oh, this is
True.
true.
Dang it. I had the
Especially when it
perfect-
comes to those
I had
Senate
the perfect
staffers,
study.
you know what I mean? If you know what I mean, and their love for German sausage. All right, let's not
Dang
go back
it.
there.
Although that was probably the funnest story I had.
Oh God, oh wow, I'm sorry. The super chats are piling up. I didn't even notice. Resist Impulse, thanks to the super chat, says I sold my home to afford law school at the age of 38. You know of how many silver spoon fucks are here in law school? Yeesh.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'd get asked, like, where are you going for summer break? And they're expecting me to say something like Barbados. And I'm like, nowhere. Because I don't have the money for that crap.
Hiking?
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not even hiking. It was just like, I'm probably going to eat like pasta because, that's my my big splurge.
Going on a ramen hunt. Thank you, Mike Keaty, for the super chat. Says JHACH, whipped by the tuft of justice. Mo, your tuft of justice nickname is going to stick forever, I swear. Peggy Riordan, thanks to the super chat, said, did you know the lead attorney sold his home for Maya? Well, I sure did.
Yep.
We had Greg on this program and he did talk about that. And Nicholas, thanks to the super chat, says get him a pale cake with one dark rose and half dark decor on the sides. Wait, who are we talking about? I guess I waited too long to read this because I forget what we were. Well, we must have maybe the boob cake, a pale cake with one dark rose. Nicholas, I don't get it. Tell me tell me what this means. Duncan, Idaho. This foul temptress with her witches' wiles, devilry, guard yourselves, brothers.
Gird your loins.
And then Nick again says, Megan, what was this boobs incident? Can you show me again? I'm a visual meme lord and need to be shown what we're discussing for educational purposes.
You're on the internet already. There's enough boobs to go around. My God.
Yeah.
Lily Smith,
If you're
thanks-
mad about breasts on the internet, I hate to tell you, the internet. It's
You're in
like
the wrong
70%.
place.
It's like 70% of the internet. It's like
Yeah.
The rest are cat
My
videos.
poor generation had to wait for the National Geographic and the library to come out, and it was
Oh, and
always
those boobs were always so weird looking.
Or the Sears catalog.
yeah, and it was always the lunch
The
lady
grandma
bra. It was
bras,
never
yeah.
it was never Victoria's Secret. It was always the lunch lady bra.
Lunch lady. Lily Smith, if somebody slammed me into a wall, I'd get depressed. No joke.
well, if it helps, I'm pretty sure that afterwards they were like dissected. So not so much on the
It
depression.
doesn't really help. Julie, thanks for the super chat, says, look up what Fauci did to beagles. Oh, I can't. I already
No.
saw that. Oh, it's
We are-
terrible. Rogue Mama, thanks for
Snake
the gifted
Island.
membership. Some lucky person just got a membership to the Fox Den. Nicholas Staros says, squirrel. Thanks. Nick, why aren't you in here? You have an invitation. Why are you chatting, but you're not in here? Nick Campbell says, don't cock block me, IT goatee Brad. Oh, the internet can supply if what you're looking for is boob content. That's the truth. And there's just no excuse for it, I guess.
If you
So
really
I asked Greg if he can if he's gonna come on. I haven't heard from him yet. He did tell me that they had a really tight schedule after the hearing. I know I'm gonna be able to book him at some point soon, hopefully, to go over, his thoughts and what else. I would like to get a list from him on like what is outstanding still, like what are we waiting for by January 22nd. I think I know, but I think I might be missing a few things. So anyway, so far I haven't heard back from him, so he's probably just really busy. I think they're having lunch with people too, so that could be happening. Has anyone shown the monkeys the boob cake video? Now this might be good research. Do they get angry, irrationally angry when watching the boob cake?
I thought that's
don't
what
know.
they did. They posted it on the internet, and all the monkeys
Yeah.
got really upset.
Government, can I have $20,000? I will research the hell out of that. My for-profit charity is Mo's House. All profits go to Mo's House. It's not a lie.
Yeah, government, I need $50,000 and a supply of meth, and I will do some research for you.
Yes, it's yes, both of us. It's a collaborative project.
You know what else the U.S. government did? They took our money and they gave it to U.S. government-funded Russian scientists to snip the brain stems of cats and then force them to walk on a treadmill.
I mean, this is still better than 99% of what government does.
Really? Like, what are we looking for with this? Is it because most
Recovery
of
from spinal
Congress is
cord
brain
injuries.
dead? Are they trying to figure out how?
They're trying to see if they can revive a congressperson.
I understand Mitch McConnell's on the fritz, but I mean, really, can't we just elect someone new?
This might
No,
be
they're
about
gonna
Mitch
bring
McConnell.
Feinstein back.
He's broken. And like, what the heck is this even for? I don't know. It doesn't say what the hell they're trying to figure out here with the
Well,
cats
I
on
can-
treadmills.
I mean, I can understand spinal cord injuries if we could figure out a way to get spinal cord injuries fixed. That would be a great boon. But there are so many ways that we could do, interactive or, virtual surgery to try to figure out, how these things work. These are basically electrical systems. We could do virtual things, and not maybe use animals all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm wondering
the virtual
that too.
things, you can't virtually see if you can regrow a neuron. with a particular
Well,
chemical
no,
or something.
but
It's
it.
Well, what about the
Why
crash
are we
test
working
things,
with
though?
Russia?
You
We've
can't put
spent 18
sensors.
bajillion years, talking about the Red Scare, for God's sakes. I thought we were going to start a new McCarthy trial here soon.
Right. Now we're sending them tons of millions of dollars to mistreat cats. I don't understand. All right, so this one might be the worst one of all the Festivus problems. Barbie's dream world has nothing on the fiscal nightmare surrounding COVID-19 spending. Fraudsters uploaded Barbie and doll-like images as proof of ID, and the government believed it. And they gave it was like millions, multi-millions of dollars went to these people. Like,
I feel like Barbie's already got enough money. She doesn't need a government handout.
here's one: government paying celebrity musicians. The Small Business Administration gave $200 million to struggling artists like Post Malone, Chris Brown, and Lil Wayne. What? You see, these are the things. It's like, what are we doing here?
Well, I mean, that's
Egyptian
just good news for me because I'm far more struggling than, say, Lil Wayne is. So maybe I can get some of that. Oh, no, it turns out not.
No, it turns out you cannot. How about sending $6 million to fund or promote tourism to Egypt? What do we gain from this?
Is it
I'm
one-way
withholding
tourism?
my taxes until stuff makes sense.
Oh, Lord. I mean, there's just so much nonsense. The Department of Defense improperly stored over $169 million worth of military engines, transmissions, and tank treads. But they never take care of this stuff because it's just better for Halliburton that they get contracts for new stuff.
Can
Yet
we
at
go
the
back
same
to
time,
the cake boobs?
at the same
I feel
time,
depressed. I need boobs and cake.
wait a minute, you're depressed? You need meth then. Isn't that what we decided? What was it?
Shrooms, not meth.
Oh, shrooms.
Shrooms.
It's terrible. It's terrible what they spend their money on. It's absolutely awful. Yeah, Egypt already has those pyramids that are bringing the tourists in. They don't need our money. You can't see a pyramid anywhere else, I don't think. Well, there might be
If
some
the
Mayan
government
ones.
would like to give me thousands of dollars to promote tourism, I will go to wherever
Right.
and do a video about how awesome it is.
I know. I will make people watch, The Prince of Egypt a bunch of times. Val Kilmer, singing is hilarious to me at all times. I will make people watch it a billion times.
Well, all right. So what does everybody have going on coming up here? Ian, you got anything going on your channel?
I've been following. There's this creator, Lauren the Mortician, and she's been suing everybody.
Really?
And she's hilarious, or at least her lawyer is hilarious. So because amongst other things, they called in a wellness check for somebody they were having a legal dispute with, like a police wellness check.
Oh boy.
And the real fun on that is that her and her lawyer both call in the wellness check in very short time, like in a very short time frame,
Orchestrated.
which kind of suggests that they were working together to do a thing that might be a crime, because like false police reports are a crime. And there's this magical thing that happens when you and your lawyer work together to do crime.
Uh-oh.
Piercing
Which
your
is
privilege.
you blow up privilege.
Ooh.
And so they may have actually left it open for the other sides in this lawsuit to rip open every communication they've ever had, which is such a stupid thing. This lawyer is upset that people are calling her a rogue lawyer, which she's saying is suggesting she was unethical. She may actually end up with the court making a finding of fact that she was unethical. And that is never something that you want to, like, this is like going to the casino and having a possible outcome on the roulette wheel that, like, they take your leg. That is not an outcome you want to be gambling with. And that's what she's setting up. She is suing together with Lauren the Mortician. Her and her client are co-plaintiffs on a lawsuit.
Oh no. Who are they suing?
They're suing Caffeinated Kitty, Becca Day, and the hosts of the Do We Know Them podcast.
Are these all YouTubers? Is this like a big
these-
YouTuber fight?
YouTube, TikTok.
Oh boy.
It's basically this all got started because people were calling her a TERF. And she freaked out.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I'm like, well,
I hate YouTube fights, but it sounds pretty interesting from a legal perspective.
I ignore YouTube fights until they get interesting legally. And so
Right.
somebody posted like the statement of claim, and I was like, all right, another boring statement of claim, but I'll at least read it. So I read it over and I went, oh wow, this is your statement of this is your complaint? Because they detail in their complaint, oh yeah, we called in a wellness check because we were concerned for their safety. And I'm like, you did what to the opposing parties in your lawsuit? It's gonna be fun. Also covering Canadian gun control crap. We've got a sovereign citizen lawyer here in Canada. So, although she's now been suspended, so I'm going to be covering that. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to be going over, but the world keeps getting weirder.
It is getting weirder.
And I I know it's late, but I'll probably do a video on Judge Carroll's smackdown of the please reconsider, because that was lovely to read.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was a terrific motion. Obviously my favorite part was the Hare Island analogy. I can't believe he put that in there. My mind like melted, I think, for a moment. I couldn't get past it. I think I laughed about that for an hour before we got past it.
Once a judge starts dropping that kind of sarcasm, judges are very guarded typically about how they write. And so often you're inferring what a judge thinks through really careful language. When they're starting to like engage in outright mockery of your position, it means that you are so far out of like, that the judge is basically trying to rein you in, is trying to, it's a bench slap. It's a judicial smackdown. So the fact that they started earning that is Judge Carroll is all out of patience. And I hope he carries that energy all the way into sanctions.
Well, me too. Although I think that there's little chance of that happening. Mo, what are you up to on your channel? You got anything coming up?
So I have mornings with Mo and Fry tomorrow morning. I do not have nightly newsy news. Tonight is Dave's night for legal newsy news. Although I think he does much more grown-up news. I pick out random news that I find absurd, and nothing with the Mesopotamia, no political stuff. If I can, find stuff that, picks on both sides, because I'm a Lewis Black politician. Democrats suck. Republicans blow. I'm politically homeless, so I make fun of everyone. But usually about an hour at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the weekdays, we just talk about newsy news. And then I will be starting a rewatch of the Groves trial, which is an older trial, but I really like kind of the lady lawyer for the state loses her cool. It is a trial that involves child abuse, so it's not for everyone. I do have story time kind of to go through it, so it's definitely not one that everyone's going to want to watch, but I do like the very human emotions that come out in the prosecutor, and she does really kind of lose her cool with the defendants. And it's interesting to see. It's interesting legally from just kind of a layperson. And I'm on jury duty all this year, so I can get picked for jury duty. So my cell phone might fall into a vat of oil too.
Acid, Mo. Acid. I was getting ready
I don't
to
have acid.
I was getting ready to wrap this up, and then Recovery Addict rated our chat here. So I guess we're not leaving yet. Locals, one of the kids of our Locals members drew this portrait of Judge Carroll, the tuft of justice, and I think that this is great. This is fantastic. This is some real talent right here. I think the judge would find this hilarious, by the way.
Oh.
And, and so cute. Please tell whoever did that that's adorable, and I love it. Oh, it's a 6-year-old. Judge Carroll through the eyes of a 6-year-old. I love it. And she said, "Look, Mom, the Hare Island."
Oh, that's so sweet.
I thought it was going to be something like, Susie, age 17 or something on that.
All right, so apparently Reddit is now they're posting photographs of juror number 1.
Of course they are.
And so they're continuing their assault on this. They're on him and his wife. And they're posting pictures of him driving a golf cart, claiming, "Oh, he can't see, but he's not wearing glasses in this picture." Well, you don't know if he has contacts that he uses for outdoor sports. There's another one of him in a kayak, and they're saying, "Oh, he doesn't have glasses on, so I guess he can see." You don't know if the man is wearing contacts. People, would you just stop
I have
attacking juror
glasses.
number 1?
And I do all sorts of things without them because, like, a kayak, you probably don't have to see that far out. Like, if the guy's got diabetic retinopathy, he's still going to want to live a life. So maybe stop making assumptions about how people with disabilities act, and that would help.
Well, it's like I have CRPS too, and there are days where I won't be able to do my videos. There are days like today where I was feeling pretty good and I was able to mop the floor and, clean up and do certain things. It's going to be different every day. Do I have to publicly, perform my disability for
Right.
everyone and do my limp and, I don't know, sackcloth and ashes? It's just that's the part
That would be really
irritates
helpful,
me.
yes.
Well, but they're going to follow Maya around, and every time she has a good day, these barnacles from
Oh,
Reddit
yeah.
are going to say, "Oh my gosh, she lied. She's over here, having fun and smiling. She definitely doesn't have CRPS." No, you just have good days. You have good days and you have
I've got
bad
back
days.
pain, and some days I just, like, don't get out of bed, and other days you get up and do stuff. It's just, Oh,
Yeah.
we've got
Welcome
MG
to
Law
the
with a
program,
Kevin.
MG. How are you?
How's it going?
All
Just
right.
getting out of court. So
Of course. Listen,
Yeah.
Reddit, if Reddit is listening right now, I just found out, I Googled it, people with diabetic retinopathy can wear contact lenses. So your arguments are invalid. You don't know if he's wearing contact lenses. And I would imagine if he's going out for a day of kayaking, where he's going to be on the water and possibly in the water, it's one of those things you don't want to wear glasses for because they're very expensive. And should they fall off into the water, you lose them. So, Reddit is just proving they're like the defense. They have really found soulmates in JHACH defense attorneys because they are willing to stop. They won't stop at anything. Just
And-
continuing the abuse.
Ultimately, it's like the amount of vision needed for recognizing faces versus the amount of vision needed to operate a golf cart are very different. Like, so long as you can see that there is a big fuzzy blob that is person shaped, not to run them over with the golf cart, regardless of whether or not you can tell who they are. Right? Like, this is not.
Golf carts don't go very fast either. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
not exactly a dangerous thing. Look at this meme from Locals.
exactly. That's what I pictured him as.
That does
South
look
Park.
fairly accurate.
They're doing a little bit of, hard at work doing research for a $1 million company for free.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the
I don't
machine.
understand why. So this is one of the pictures that Reddit's been putting up, but locals made it a meme. The OG hippo lover. He's got a hippo shirt on. That's a great
I'm gonna get a hippo
kayaking shirt, by the
tattoo.
way. I know he had a hippo tattoo on his arm. That was an interesting piece of information. Yeah, I don't know.
With the Andy has a hippo tattoo with the anniversary year of his wife on it that he uses to remind himself.
Yes.
You know, I'm
I'm not sure that his. I
That's-
hope his wife likes it.
Yeah, I was gonna say his wife might want to have a conversation about like, so I'm a hippo, am I?
Yes. So that's what you think of.
Maybe it's the one from Fantasia with the little tutu and they're
Little
very
tutu.
graceful.
Well, a lot of people have animals that, like, my sister-in-law loves elephants, so people always buy her elephants, and my mother-in-law loves frogs, and so she has a ton of frog stuff. I mean, maybe it's just like her spirit animal, and she loves hippos for some reason. They're very dangerous animals, like not exactly cuddly or
no
safe
No.
to be around.
And they spray poop.
Oh, they're more dangerous than lions for people.
Oh God, yeah, hippos scare me.
Meth for hippos.
And they don't swim; they run in the water.
They, my lord,
They run in the water. Yeah, you watch video; they actually run in the water.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a theory. Juror number 1 is the hippo. Hippo lover is his wife. That makes sense.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I
Could
don't
be-
want to meet their
could be-
personas in real life.
Yeah, it could be pet names.
It's like
Personas.
now we've learned way too much about their life.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've just uncovered something we didn't want to know. IT Goatee has to drop out. Thanks for being here today, Brad. Sure
No worries.
appreciate you and all the help that you have given me in the channel. Appreciate it.
No worries. Appreciate it. See everyone.
All right, bye. Who is posting? What is happening on Locals? I'm getting photographs of golf courses. Why are you posting
Oh,
golf
no.
courses now? What's happening over there? Let's see. I think I got. Oh, cool. Greg might be coming on. So Greg Anderson might be coming on. I'm just waiting
cool.
to hear back from his wife. Let's see if he can do that. That would be fun.
Yeah,
So we're gonna.
I missed the
gonna
court
hang out.
hearing, so I had to kind of go back and watch it on your stream, to rewatch to make sure I knew what happened.
Well, what did you have any thoughts on it, MG?
Well, it's exactly what should have happened.
Yeah.
They should have denied their motion. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, he's appeal proofing the decision, and then he's
Exactly.
kicking it out. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, he's giving them these little hearings, these things that they want, and shutting them down just so that he closes any gaps in what happened.
yeah. And then later they can come back and be like, well, we didn't get what we want. And the appeals court will be like, well, actually, you kind of did.
Yeah.
And that puts them into the position of arguing that the difference between what they got and what they wanted was so critical. And I think that an appeals court is going to be like, no, what you were
It's
asking
mostly
for
a-
beyond
yeah.
what you got was ridiculous and stupid.
And it's probably an abuse of discretion standard anyway. So
Yeah.
you got something, and it was within the judge's discretion, and he didn't abuse it by only giving you these questions. So
Those of you who are new here from Recovery Addicts channel, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. There's quite a few of you here, and if you hang out for a bit, we might be graced with Greg Anderson's presence, perhaps Jennifer's as well. Just waiting to hear back from her, but it sounds like Greg's going to try and make it happen. So I would like to say thanks for you guys coming over and hanging out, and make sure you hit that like button. I haven't gone to check to see how many likes there are. Do I have to shame you all into hitting the button yet? Let's see. Oh yeah,
Shame.
This is bad.
Shame.
Where's the shame bell? Oh my God. Shame. 2,200 of you here and 900 likes. This is shameful. It's shameful. Shame. My God, are your thumbs broken? What is
complaining about 900 likes.
Yeah.
Well, not with that many people. They forgot to hit the like button on the way in. This is terrible. No, I'm not kicking anyone out to make room for Anderson. There's plenty of room on the board. Everybody can stay. But make sure you hit that like button because it is free. And if you don't hit the like button and get that up over 1,000 at least, then I'll just start bothering you for super chats, and that's not free. So just hit the. There we go. We're up to 1025 now. There it is. There it is. Good job. Good job, everyone. I mean, I was going to have to use this button on the chat.
What would you say you do here?
You have responsibilities, chat. You have things you're supposed to do when you come here. And one of them is to hit the like button and subscribe, because I am only a few hundred people away from 25,000 subscribers. Apparently, Greg is trying. Greg is trying to get on. Oh, no.
And it costs nothing to like and subscribe. It's free.
For $0 a day, you can get Megan to $25,000. Now, I don't have the Sarah McLachlan music in the background because, well, I can't pay for it. But imagine.
But I have the sad kitty cat in my avatar.
Yeah.
So.
Those monkeys need meth, and that meth isn't free. So
Yeah, where does the
those
government?
hippos some
Where
meth.
does the government get them? Where do they get the meth? Do they go to the local dealer? Like, where does the government have its own stash of methamphetamine?
Probably.
meth is actually like it's got a drug. Like it is. You can have a prescription for meth, and I know this because I used to have a prescription for meth.
Well, I mean, with all of us with raging ADHD, I mean,
Well, I mean, is
It's-
that what they're talking about, though? Are they talking about just the pharmaceutical type, or are they talking about the street drug?
I'm guessing that they would be using like pharmaceutical grade as opposed to like we got
Eat your
Jimmy
face
out
alive
back
stuff.
to like
Blowing
cook
meth
this up
to
with
them
some battery
in the faces
acid.
of the monkeys.
they've got a bunch of chemistry teachers out back, and they're like, "Look, we've got."
We bought this from Jimmy out back, and you know it's good because he's got like 5 teeth. Like that's not how this goes. People are saying there's pharmaceutical meth. Yes, it's called disoxin. It is literally meth.
Oh, well. All right, so I guess that makes more sense, doesn't it?
It's not Adderall. Disoxin is literally methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Like that is yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think they're a little different, aren't they? I mean, methylphenidate is
Methylphenidate is different. Disoxin, however, is the drug name for methamphetamine.
Okay.
It's literally methamphetamine hydrochloride. Like so yeah.
Oh, he's here. And it's working. Welcome to the program, Gregory Anderson. Look at you. You've overcome your boomer problems with tech.
I have. Hang on one second. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. Oh, well, this is amazing. This is the first time that it's actually worked out. Make sure you share the stream, folks, because Greg's here. And if you have questions for him, I'm sure that he'll be happy to answer whatever he can. The chat's going pretty fast. So, super chats help me see things. It highlights them. Super chats also help me pay off Christmas. So I'm not going to lie. I would prefer a super chat. I'm going to try and pay attention to all of the chats, but I have a feeling it's about to get crazy in here. Welcome back, Greg. How was your day today?
Fabulous. Courtesy of Judge Carroll. He's always ready to party.
Wonderful. We felt pretty good about it. We felt like we were only I only missed a little bit of this kind of tone.
Denied. Sit down.
That was the only thing I wish I had heard. But I think it was good enough. What do you think?
It was 90% of what he used to say to me up until about halfway through the trial, and he suddenly got a lot nicer. I thought Paul did a magnificent job. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to meet he and Deborah Salisbury and Jack and Kyle downstairs. Maya's having kind of a tough day today. So she wasn't at the hearing. So I can only stay on a little while, but this will be my first chance to see Paul other than in a jury box. I've never actually talked to the man until today, right before we walked in. And,
I'm sorry, but we were led to believe that you were in direct communication with this man early on, and perhaps, guiding his. Well, what do you mean you've never spoken to the man, Greg?
Well,
That's
okay, he
hard to
actually
believe.
lives with me. All right, I didn't want to say anything. He lives with me.
He's been in the guest bedroom for weeks now.
Please tell him when you do meet with him that we are all very sorry for what it is that he has gone through, and him and his family, because I have felt an extreme amount of uncomfortableness reading some of these motions and the things that they dug up on the family, and I just feel like they didn't deserve it. So please tell him that we feel badly about that.
I sure will. I have to, before I forget, I have to tell you something amazing that happened today. We get a lot of people who are very appreciative, I guess, of what we have done and sticking it out. And they're forever sending us little things here and there, a box of chocolates or whatever. Just random people that have had similar problems or family members. And today, when we were walking out, this lady came up to us right before we went downstairs. And she was in tears, and she said, "Can I just give you all a hug?" And this has happened before, sure. And so she gave us all a hug, and then she said she brought out this little silver elephant pendant type thing. It was about that big, very pretty sterling silver, and she said, "This has been in my family for generations. It's a good luck charm that's always brought my family good luck. And I want you to have it." And we're like, that's just that. I mean, she was insistent that we have this little elephant. So if Jack's around, I'll have to show you the elephant good luck charm that somebody gave us. And she said it had been in her family for forever. And she'd flown down here just to give us this thing. Maybe the weather had a little to do with it. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So anyway, that made my day a lot better. I was in Idaho with Jen and the kids, and my eldest Caroline had flown in, and having a fairly good time. There really wasn't much snow, and I could have done this thing by Zoom. And I really wanted to hang with my family, but I just had this sixth sense that there was a possibility that he was going to go much farther than what his order had said. And although my appellate counsel assured me that could never happen, I had seen it before, just witnessed the immediate jeopardy deal. So I jumped on a plane, and that's how I ended up down here, at the relative last minute to be there. So the court was in a pretty good mood. What he making an analogy about something similar to his hair analogy.
Recovery addict will refresh your memory. Thanks for the super chat, Scott. He says, when Greg said the judge made the plaintiff's argument, was he talking about the sea of baldness? It made me think that perhaps the judge has been paying more attention to our coverage than we thought he might be, because we have been joking about Hair Island for a long time.
I have that exact sense. I think he does pay attention. I think he watches this. And if you're watching Judge, you're the greatest thing I've ever met.
The best
of all time.
Love you, Judge Tuft. We love you. Please forgive us for being so cheeky, but I think he found it funny. Clearly, he found it funny because he put it in emotion. It's now there forever. Shiraz, thank you for the super chat. Says, please tell Greg that he was looking sharp today, and juror number one, he was looking sharp today, and we're proud of him.
Yes.
Greg,
It's a
tell
great outfit.
we liked
yeah.
the pocket square in particular. Now,
Paul
Dr.
has a square, doesn't he?
Casey Cat says, according to Dr. Joe, juror number 1 had the choice to be behind a screen. He said no because he felt his integrity had been attacked and he needed to be seen. Do you know about that, Greg? Was he given that opportunity and declined?
So I met his counsel for the first time in person about a half hour before we went in. And then, the media comes in, and then it's they give them about 20 minutes to set up, and then they finally let us in. And when all that happened, he wasn't there. Neither one of them was there. So I asked Nick, our bailiff, our traveling bailiff, who we've come to really like and enjoy having in the courtroom. And apparently the court directed that both Bob Turf, his new attorney that you saw today, and Paul, I can now call Paul, he directed them to be kept in the back. And so then when we got started, he had Paul come out, had Bob come out first and sit where you saw him over there in the juror seats. And I think that's where he made one of his jokes about something being appropriate or something. And then I understood that Paul had an option where he could come in behind a screen, and they in fact had something in the corner. I don't know exactly what they're going to use, whether they're going to use the drawing board or what it was, but they had a means to keep his identity secret, at least his face, and he declined that. And he was very strong on the whole thing. You saw what happened.
Yeah, I feel like they've been through so much. I understand why he would want to, just face it.
Well, yeah. I have to say, I had a talk with his new counsel, who's a fine trial attorney in this area, and he was curious about how far they had taken this and whether they had gone far beyond the litigation privilege. And so it would not surprise me if Paul, if there is a way around the litigation privilege for all of what they've done, that Johns Hopkins may have yet another problem on its hands. I mean, I can't say any more. I don't know anymore, but just lawyer to lawyer listening to the questions and his concerns there, it was clear to me that he was on to a pretty important point and intended to look into it and maybe pursue it. That would be interesting.
I think we're all feeling the exasperation with the can we just put this to bed at the end?
I mean, really, can we? I'm gonna have to talk to the second district for that.
Do you have Greg, do you have a running list of how many motions are still out there that need to be ruled on that the judge, said he's going to get to sometime before January 22nd? Do we know what we're waiting on?
I haven't looked at the latest docket. I had the amazing Samantha look up the ones that were devoted just to this juror thing, and there were 17 docket entries just for this, the juror thing. And so today he denied the motion for new trial based on juror misconduct, allegations of juror misconduct. And like he said, he's going to, what did he say? I wrote it down, January 21st. I think he said he's going to rule on the remainder. And I believe I think there's only one motion, but it has within it multiple grounds, the remittitor and the motions for new trial. So
I only counted the motions for new trial were only about juror misconduct that I could see. Was there a motion for mistrial within the remittitor thing? Because I think that was just a motion for directed verdicts.
No. Then you may be right. It may be just a DV, a JNOV. It should be a JNOV at this point. Although he did at the end take some of those DVs under advisement. So it's a close call when the court takes it under advisement as to whether at this point it would be a motion for directed verdict or whether it would be a JNOV, because it wouldn't be really a judgment notwithstanding because he hasn't ruled on those. So either a motion for directed verdict or JNOV. You're right. The motion for new trial was as to Paul, but I thought that most of the grounds, including those remitters, were all tied up in that one pleading. Maybe I'm wrong. In this case, anything's possible, and there's probably 50 of them out there, but that's my memory. But there are multiple grounds.
It's a little hard to keep track of everything, I'm sure. Kamala sent a Cash App message, says, love Ian and Greg. Love this show. Thank you so much, Kamala. Appreciate that. Mathis, thanks for the super chat, says Greg and Meg, I emailed you a hilarious meme and hope you saw it. Also, I need info on where to buy that shirt. Wait, which one? The hippo shirt? Question, do you know juror number 1's lawyer? I don't, but Greg did just address that one. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I hope
Sure.
it seems like because having to force juror number 1 to like get and pay for a lawyer after, and this turns out to be a huge nothing burger, it would be nice if JHACH were responsible for that and would just pay that for him, because I can't even. It's really not fair, is it? It makes
Taking responsibility isn't how they roll, though.
Yeah, well, you heard me at the end. That motion for sanctions had the fees in it. The one that motion to strike and for sanctions, that was to recover fees, and then the judge got on me about, well, doesn't this get piled into our 50,000 other sanctions orders and motions that we're waiting to see what happens on the directed verdict? And so I tried, but Bob brought up a pretty good point, which is there is some law out there that if you recover sanctions for an injury during court, it can serve as a bar to you bringing a subsequent action. So that if we got him a bunch of fees here in this case, that is Paul, juror number 1, would that bar him from recovery in a separate suit for defamation, or what I thought was probably true abuse of process, the way they were using the subpoena power of the court? We'll see.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting dilemma. Of course, I don't know. I don't know if this is something that. I mean, if this whole case is a hydra, my God, an 8-year hydra. Why here? I guess if juror number 1 does have grounds to, have some action of his own, whether that's defamation or emotional distress or something, wouldn't that also then open him up to discovery, though, and all that crap that they want to see in the first place?
Well, that is a very astute point. And one of the reasons I listen to you all is you keep coming up with these ideas that I wish I'd thought of. But it's, yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility there. I mean, I'm not sure how that would play out, but yeah,
it seems like it would be a win for JHACH anyway, because they have no qualms about dragging juror number 1.
Well, wouldn't it be? It could be kind of race judicata on the issue of the juror. I think you can't raise that after 15 days. So if they have, and he already knocked out those 2 supplemental motions that they tried to piggyback to get in under the 15 days that Rule 1.431 requires. And so, you're right, though. The problem with these people is they don't really care if it's ultimately going to result in something that's useful. I mean, the whole point is to attack and to degrade the other side as much as possible. And they were just as stone-faced and unpleasant going in and leaving the courtroom than they were during the trial. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they tried to dig deeper with him, whether they could actually do it or not.
They might drag him just for the PR aspects of this, because right now they've taken a real bloody nose PR wise.
Yeah.
And if they could be like, well, look at all the stuff we found on his phone, even if it's
Right.
completely irrelevant out of discovery, they'd be just trashing him in the. So, yeah, I don't know that I'd wish that on.
Mm-mm.
I
on
know
anybody.
that is definitely an issue. Did y'all, all of you, I think, have covered or thought about covering this thing that came out with the Matthew Perry ketamine thing, and you know, Tony Kirkpatrick's head's about to explode over it because of the misrepresentations and the way they wrote the story. It didn't really get much traction in my view. I mean, I think there was one follow-up story about somebody else, but did everybody pick up on the fact that the doctor that was the quote, the consultant or the go-to technical person just happened to be from Johns Hopkins?
It wasn't the technical person. It was the person that the AP went to get a quote about it. Was a Johns Hopkins. Instead of going to the LA coroner who did the autopsy, the AP claims they reached out to Johns Hopkins doctor in Baltimore. But I found that to be really strange. Not that the AP would have like somebody on call, like, you know, but just to go to a Johns Hopkins doctor, it was weird. I wrote a whole article about it, Greg. I'll send it to you. Maybe I didn't. Did I not send that to you?
You may have. I've been trying to catch up on any reading other than this case. It's problematic to say the least. But yeah, I was incensed. I was actually mad enough. I was going to release do a press release about it, that this was just too coincidental, and that from what we understand, John's, and certainly everybody knows that they have a pretty sophisticated public relations, media relations department and outside contractors. And it was my belief that somehow, somewhere, somebody got the idea to connect up these stories. I have no.
Oh, I absolutely believe that that's true.
It's too coincidental, and you know, you're not allowed to, when you're a detective or a trial lawyer, you're not allowed to believe in coincidences anymore. Is that somebody's line? So
I'll send you. I'll email it to you, Greg, so you can see it. But I put those same things together, and also the AP and all the media reports misrepresented how he died. They blamed it on the ketamine, and yet he had a cocktail of lethal drugs in his system, which when in working together, I looked up the contraindications between these medicines, and like when taken together, actually increased his risk of drowning, because it not only slowed down his breathing, but would make him. He took a paralytic and some other thing. Like, it's just nuts. He had a benzo in his system. He had another thing. I can't remember what the other one was. But
don't even get Richard started on it.
Not to mention, he's been a drug addict for years. I mean, he'd already put his system through the ringer.
But don't say that to people. He was sober, Mo. He was sober. California sober, but sober, according to everyone. I mean, like, I like Matthew Perry as much as the next person. I'm sorry that he went early, but can we please not lie to ourselves, and can we not lie to the children watching? This man was not sober. He was maybe he was trying to get sober, but he wasn't sober when he died. And blaming it on one drug, as he was doing, ketamine infusions for his depression therapy or whatever, it is not fair when he was completely hopped up on a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, well, he was taking Naxalon, whatever the Suboxone mix is, that takes away the effects of opioids. And so it discourages somebody who wants to catch a buzz from using opioids, which then directs them to other types of medications that the Suboxone won't affect. And this is all courtesy of
he also had chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema, and diabetes. Also in his system were buprenorphine, which is an opioid, and lorazepam, which is a benzo. 2 of these drugs have serious warnings of coma or death. Lorazepam and bup together can cause central nervous system depression that can lead to respiratory distress, coma, and even death.
Well,
And
I
yet
think that
everything
nephroprin
was
is,
ketamine.
it's ridiculous, and it's to me it's a plant, and I think we'll see
Yeah.
more and more of these as time goes on. Hey, I'm leaving these poor people downstairs, and particularly Paul. How long are you guys going to go? You ladies and
Probably
gentlemen?
not much longer. I got to do dinner and stuff, but if you want to come back later, we'll do another stream, Greg, if you want to do some more.
Sure. I'll let you know when I'm done with this, and I'll ask Paul if he wants to get on with you folks. And
Oh yeah, that would be great.
yeah,
I
that'd be
would
cool.
absolutely do that. McCrae, before you go, McCrae sent a super chat. Says, "Great show, Megan and everyone. Greg, I loved hearing you laughing in the background when the judge mentioned the orange hair. I wouldn't have recognized it if you hadn't been on Megan's stream. Your laugh, people love it so much. I'm going to create a button just with Greg laughing."
Oh, and they got me for Christmas a "Just Don't Get It" T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
That's
I got to show you. They Just Don't Get It T-shirt. I'll try to get some made up. But
I need a picture of you wearing that.
absolutely. All right,
That's
y'all.
great.
I got to
All
sign
right,
off for a
take
little while,
care.
but we'll talk very soon. Okay.
All right.
Good to see
See ya.
you. Bye.
Well, that's always fun. Let me get through the super chat. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Dennis says if the internet was around during prime National Geographic years, they would have had an OnlyFans. You mean the National Geographic folks?
Those are not the boobs you want to see.
No.
Nick Campbell says, "What's best slang for tatas? Pay up, JKD Buck. Best slang for tatas." I've always liked tits, personally.
I've always been partial to sweater puppies.
That's a good one. Gazongas.
Gazongas?
Melons. Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to
melons.
plead the fifth on this one.
They don't have nicknames for boobs in Canada. It's just too impolite to talk about. Vin says comedy, like legal stuff, isn't pretty, just more money. Yeah, that's also true. E. Koala, thanks for the super chat, says, "I'd love Runkle and Greg's talk, both wordsmiths." Everybody loves Runkle. Rainman YYC, hey from Calgary, the superior Alberta city. All right. Julio, thanks for the super chat, says, "I used to take GHB for narcolepsy. Its prescription name is Xyrem. It's like $16,000 a month." Whoa, it's a lot of money. Lynn in South Carolina, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Chris says, "Time for justice for the used and abused children and parents." Yeah, and I hope to see more of that. Ruby says, "Greg, any more motions from JHACH, or are we done?" Sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask him that, but if he comes back tonight, possibly with Paul, we'll definitely ask him that. Julio says, "Chesticles." Mathis says, "The way I read the AP article, the Hopkins doctor says that Perry took sedatives, fell asleep, and then drowned because, he was in the hot tub." Yeah, and it's not that the doctor from Johns Hopkins said anything that was wrong or anything. I just thought it was bizarre, and it put those ideas
Yeah.
together in my head that, why would you reach out to Johns Hopkins, who is currently involved in a $260 million award about ketamine, and you reach out to them to comment on this, and I almost felt like it had to have gone the other way. The PR team at Johns Hopkins could have sent out to the AP, "Hey, we've got Dr. So-and-so. He wants to talk about this ketamine thing. Call us for a quote," or sent out the quote, just to get the AP interested in writing a story. That's sometimes how that works. I get PR people reaching out to me all the time with story ideas and quotes of press releases. So yeah. Yeah, the doctor did say, "Don't take sedatives in a hot tub." That's true. That's good advice. Anyway, all right, let's see. Wait, you guys I love Wait, did I miss these super chats? No, I got those. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm calling it quits. I'm gonna wrap this up now. Thank you so much for being here. And if Greg and Paul want to come back later, I will let you guys know if we go live again tonight. Any of you are welcome to join me here, Ian or Mo or MG Law.
you.
Anybody who wants to join, if
All right.
that's happening, I'll send you guys a link and you can come back later. Anybody have anything you want to say before we hit the quit button?
I don't think so.
Nope. Everybody's good.
No,
All right.
Judge
All right,
made the right ruling.
All right.
Yes.
Well, if we come back,
Got there
if we come
eventually.
back- yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's just end it on this note.
Denied.
Yes.
Sit down.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be back here tomorrow for sure at 7:30 with attorney Sean McMillan. We're going to go over part 2 of his new filing, Meyer versus Rady's Children's Hospital. Very similar case to Maya Kowalski, unbelievably similar, including CRPS, Ehlers-Danlos, all this stuff. Go and watch part 1 if you haven't seen it. It's on my channel under the live. It was just like last week, and catch up because this lawsuit is incredible and you won't want to miss it. Follow me, meganfox.locals.com, if you want to hear about if you want to see if to make sure you get notifications in case Greg is coming back tonight. You'll hear it there first. All right, everybody.
Yes, you will get the notifications from Locals. Never fails.
Yeah, and please go and subscribe to all my guests today. Mo in the Deep End, go and subscribe to her. Runkle of the Bailey, subscribe to him too. And MG Law, there are no spaces in that when you go on YouTube to search him. Just MG Law the way it looks, because there's another one with a space. That's not him. Go and subscribe. Do that now. Obey me.
We'll have this
quickly.
little picture.
Yes. Obey me quickly, folks, and I'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in.
I was lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. This time I know my road is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. And my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say goodbye.
So I take it that
Johnny's
you've seen
problem is he
Cameron
should have
John's
come
bedroom
storming
before.
in there with
Yeah.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall when
and
we
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr. Jetson's
Across
first
the Christian
bedroom?
one.
May the power of Christ compel you.
No, I don't.
You realized his house was infested with succubus.
Of what it, yes.
Succuloters.
When you arrived in the afternoon. I don't remember saying it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
Oh my God.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why you
from
wanted to
Manosphere
drown her.
Laces. And that is
Witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That